Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by my friend, my companion, my duo. You guys already know who he is. He's a good guy. His name's Benji and Asim. Ben, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Tom. It's been a great day. Was a little bit of a mixy morning. I may have gone out after the show last night and had some
Ah,
drink
you
with some
had some
friends.
fun last night. Well, you had
But
some fun. Before you get into that, we have Asim
yeah.
joining us today. We have Enable joining us today, and whoever
How
else
you doing?
wants to come on the show, you're welcome at any time. But it's nice to have you guys, man. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Tomas.
Just another day, man. Just another day. Ben, what did you do tonight? Last night? Where'd you go?
We went out to this like bar. It was like a gastropub type situation. And just met up with some friends, had some food, had a lot of
It's
drinks.
nice. It's nice. It's good
Then
to see
I,
things getting back to
yeah.
normal, huh? You know, people going
Oh, dude,
out. You know,
downtown Columbus is absolutely popping
it's
last
popping
night.
right now. Is it? Is
Oh,
it? Is it
dude.
popping?
Well, I can hear it. There's a bar down the street, and it's definitely loud. But I'll tell you, yesterday it was
You
crazy.
know,
I was walking down High Street, and it was like
that's
it was,
lit.
it was
That's
like
lit.
pre-COVID levels. Like everybody's turning
That's
up.
good. That's
So
good. It makes me so happy to see people going outside. You know, a lot of
yeah,
positive energy. People just seem a lot happier now, right? Just everybody's going outside again.
yeah,
The one thing that I really love is just seeing sports get back to where it was with the fans in the stands, and you just seeing how just the energy in the stadiums and
yeah.
stuff.
But then
It's just
you get bullshit like what happened to John Rahm today. Guys leading by 6 strokes at the Memorial, absolutely frying on the way to going back to back at the same tournament.
yeah.
Chalked COVID positive test.
I can't believe that happened in the middle of a tournament. He tested. So what? They do testing in the middle of tournaments? Is that how it
Yeah,
works?
so they have two different policies. If you're fully vaccinated, it's a totally set of policy. But like, yeah, I don't think he has a vaccine. And apparently, he was like like he got like contact traced on Monday.
That's
So it was like a
nuts.
totally separate locker room and everything. So they do more regular testing. And
Wow.
I guess he had been testing negative up until this morning, and they reran the test while he was out there on his third round, and he was positive. And then they
Oh
decided to
shit.
tell him when he's walking off 18 green. Like, wait
That's
till this guy
nuts.
goes
That's
inside and signs the
nuts.
scorecard.
That's
Come
that's
on.
unbelievable. I
Come
feel
on,
bad for
man.
the fucking guy, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's all on
it.
video. You watch this guy just absolutely melt down when he finds out he's on
Oh
the he
man.
had the tournament in the bag, Tom. Like
That's
literally, like John Rahm's not blowing
That
a
could
six.
happen in the major, no?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
Wait,
the
that can
problem
happen
with the
going
issue.
into
Yeah,
Champ Sunday. Only 3 teams left. One team just tests positive. Chalk it up.
yeah.
I don't know. I get it though, like in team sports and like it with Call of Duty, but I know about trying to be safe. I feel like you could still let him golf.
Yeah, I
Like
feel like just keep him
just
away
like
from people, you know?
yeah,
Like, you know,
like
have
Well,
him
yeah.
put a mask
I
on
mean, they
and,
could
you
figure
know.
out how to have him play as a single. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of ways they could have done. I mean,
it has to be possible.
the issue is, you know what? It is pretty crowded at the Memorial. If you've been watching on TV, they've got with the full attendance, there's probably at least 10, 15,000 people there, if not more.
Yeah, well,
So
you
it's
know, it is what it is. At least we're taking the right steps to make things normal again, and I think that's the main thing. My heart goes out to the guy that you never want to see something
Yeah.
like that, because you know he probably puts a lot of work and effort into his game. But let's talk a little bit of Call of Duty today. We had some great matches today, but we actually have a special guest coming on the show. I just reached out to this guy. You know, I love this guy, man. I'm so happy he's joining us today. Everybody, welcome Attach to the Flank.
Okay.
Dylan, how you doing today?
Whoa. Up,
Dylan, how
Dylan?
you doing, Dylan?
What's good, boys? How you doing today?
What's up, Dylan? Hey, good one
Dylan,
today,
what are you
man.
eating, brother?
A Cliff Bar.
Okay.
Dylan loves
Respectable.
his Cliff Bars.
I got
He
a
loves his
Cliff Bar. I got
bars.
had to eat a little snack, bro. I was starving. I
Yeah,
got to work
man,
out with the trainer in a little bit.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you gotta get some
Yeah.
grub after the match,
You
man.
got a
You gotta get
personal
some
trainer?
fuel.
our team hired like a trainer. So like,
That's
we
lit.
just train like 3-4 times a week, just whenever.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
You know,
That's awesome.
Okay.
It was
Go
the
work
match went
out and then
solid
watch.
today. So I'm trying to. Usually I work out before I play, and
Yeah.
I feel hella good, bro. Like I don't know, it just the endorphins, they're just flying.
Well, I used to be the player. Remember? We would
Dylan
we'd
is
wait.
comedy.
In World War II, we'd wake up. You, me, and Chris would go to the gym, get some smoothies, come back, get ready, go to the studio. Hot 3-0.
Bro,
We're good.
Dylan,
Yeah.
what are endorphins?
I don't know. Things in your body.
You just caught him. You just caught him.
Listen, it's a chemical, but you're close.
Nah, but yo, I'm not gonna lie. Columbus was a vibe, man. Like we just
Yeah.
go to the gym and play COD all day, and it was a good place. I miss
Yeah.
that. I miss it.
Nah, you know what was a vibe? The Austin house in Texas. That was a vibe. That was a vibe.
That was a good time too.
In phase, that was a fun time. And
The problem with
Austin.
the
Until
house
shit
is,
hit the fan.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, shit hit the fan, but come
Nah,
on.
let's not talk about that.
We
Man. It was
had
good for the most part.
we had a lot of positive vibes, a lot of good energy for most of the time in that house until obviously things went south at the end of it. But I mean, for the most part, like a lot of good times, man. A lot of good times. We did
the
a lot.
only they're
Wait, I
talking
want to
about
be
the
clear
house-
though. Hold up,
yeah.
sorry, man. Me saying shit hit the fan, I meant when Dylan clogged my fucking toilet and then told me he didn't know how to unclog it. That's when shit
Well,
went
that's a
downhill.
whole other story
Literally,
within
that's when
itself,
shit
you
went
know.
down.
Yo, that
Down.
is such a bro. I
Or
go
when,
back and watch that
uh,
video sometimes.
Yo, that
It's
is
so
a
good.
funny video.
Or,
That is
or
a
when
funny
Chris
video.
Chris had to go to the hospital because the
I
light
can't
fell off
believe
the
that
ceiling.
happened. I can't believe that happened. There's a video of that too. The light bulb
Yes.
just
Yeah.
to be under the light
Randomly.
bulb at the exact moment it falls off the ceiling and then cuts his hand out of all places to cut him.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't hit his head or anything, but just the fact that he's a professional gamer and it cuts his hand, I was like, my God, his whole wrist, his whole hand was numb. He couldn't even feel his hand, which is like nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. I mean, so
Bro,
many
you
stories
gotta
we could tell.
think. You gotta think. He was coaching that year for like those years when he was living with us, but he comes back the next year, and the first person that retired to come back and win again with just a hand injury the year before, like
Crazy.
that's
Actually crazy.
impressive.
Wait,
That's
is,
impressive.
is the top of his hand still numb? Because it was numb for
I
a
think
while.
I think it might be
I
still
think there's
numb.
still some nerves.
Yeah,
in
there's
his hand
still some
that
nerves that are
haven't
numb.
recovered yet.
Yep.
That's
I mean, that's
crazy.
how it is. Like my knee for my ACL surgery is still numb. Like when I touch the tip of my
Really?
knee, yeah, I can't feel it. Like it's
That's
numb.
crazy.
Even
You're like
yeah,
a superhuman almost.
Nah, I mean, I personally hate it. It feels weird as
Oh.
fuck.
Oh.
But I
So
mean,
you
yeah,
can't just
sure.
punch people or kick people. And
No,
like,
that shit will hurt. If they,
Just-
okay,
if they
no.
kick
You
me
ever
the
get a
knee,
fight?
it'll probably hurt.
You get a fight, you gotta
Stick
the
my
metal
knee
knee
out
right
and
here.
shit.
See if I flinch.
That
Right in the
ass,
specific
bro.
spot.
Hey,
So we're
but
into the matches.
yeah, I was just gonna say let's get into the matches, man. We kicked off today with the Battle of Europe, right? We had well, not Europe, but the Battle of the whatever, the outside of the country, not the NA.
I think at the outset,
Toronto's
Yeah.
NA, Tom.
Yeah.
Toronto's NA.
Oh, shit.
I want to talk about one thing.
You know what I mean? Like not
Yeah,
the
it's
out of
all
the
good, it's all
country.
good.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Toronto Ultra going up against fucking London. Okay, my God, good series.
I want to talk one thing about the videos, and I want to make kind of like an overall statement on today, and then we'll get in the match. The thing that was interesting with this veto was London finally started banning Express S&D because they were down to play it, and I think they lost like 3 or 4 times in a row, and all of a sudden now they're banning it. So other than that, the videos went straightforward. I don't know what your guys' POV are, but like I thought today, like the overall takeaway from today is 3 of the 4 bottom teams in the league all played today. And you could have made the case that all 3 of those teams had opportunities to win those series and managed not to do it. And I went back and looked at all of the series that have been played so far the last couple of weeks in this stage. I think it's like 17 games now. Only 2 underdogs have won in those games.
Whoa, that's actually crazy.
So I think we're at the point now where
Okay,
the
Ben,
top,
that's a
the
good
top
Ben
teams-
stat of the day. All right.
The good teams, the top teams are closing out these series, and the bottom teams, look, they can shoot back, but decision-making teamwork's not there, and they're falling short at the critical moments.
That's crazy.
That is kinda crazy.
Honestly, because even just looking at oh my god, I'm choking.
Yeah.
Dude, are you okay?
Drink on it, drink, you're good.
Are you
my bad.
okay?
Minnesota
Dylan?
needs one.
All right, we're good.
Send
no,
the 14
Yo,
in, there you go.
Catch your breath, Dill.
Oh my God.
I was saying,
The cliff bar is going down. You
the
know,
cliff bar
you
went
can't get it
rogue,
down.
though. It tried
Yeah.
to choke me out, choke slam me, take me out.
Come on.
But like Paris's last games, like they had that map 1 versus Optic. Like if they hold that, they win that map. They had a really close series. Who was it with? They had a close series with us. And who's the other team in our group? Seattle. Seattle was up 5-3 versus FaZe in the map 2.
Mhm.
They played 100T. They should have won that.
Yeah,
They dominated in the hard points. Should have won that control.
that control.
But
yeah.
like, so it's getting down to the wire. But the fact that there's only been 2 upsets is kind of crazy to see.
Yeah, it's making me think, and guys, there's not that much to talk about this first map, to be honest. Toronto kind of went up 100
They
points.
had a
and that was
great
that.
start. They had a great start.
But to that point, Dylan, like I'm pretty convinced at this point that the top 8's probably locked, barring some insane run from the bottom teams. I think it clearly seems like top 8 teams are the best 8 teams. And the teams at the bottom 4 are going to need some miraculous run in the
They're gonna
next
have
2
to win
events.
an event. They're gonna have
they're
to
basically
We
gonna
need to win
an
Atlanta.
event.
It's
Yeah.
chalked for him,
They have to
bro.
go like
It's
five.
chalked
They have
for
to
him.
go
I'll
like
keep it
5-0 and then like win a major.
Yeah,
chalk.
which
It's
I
over.
mean, it's
It could
it's
happen.
Not
getting.
happening.
But it's unlikely.
It's, I mean, one of these teams, like I said, you should just bring in Doug. Bring in Sensor, see what this guy could do, and give him the spotlight, and let Doug get his shot. You know what I'm saying,
We're
man?
just leaning into the duck thing, aren't we?
Listen, bro, I just want to see it, man. I want to see Doug back in there doing his thing. I
Let's
think it'd be
get
fucking
Tom
comic.
Gravy and the boys in if we're gonna do that. Come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that definitely deserve their shot. I'm curious to see how a lot of these teams change at the end of the year. I'm curious to see what route these teams take, right? I mean, there's going to be a lot of veteran players who are on the sideline that are waiting to get picked up, a lot of young talent that's waiting to get picked up. So we'll see what kind of route a lot of these teams take. It's going to be interesting. I think we're going to have a really interesting offseason. I really do. Especially a team like Seattle. You know, my heart goes out to them. They've been really struggling. And that's, 2 years now, right? Since the franchise league started, Seattle has been at the bottom of the barrel. So you definitely want to see those guys turn things around and definitely change up their roster and, change things up over there and see what they, try and change it up, So we'll see. But this first map was very one-sided, in my opinion. I think Toronto, they came out, and they just showed what they're capable of. Toronto's just a different beast right now, top 4 team. I had a feeling Toronto was going to come out and win this one. London's weird to me because they seem like a good team, but again, they're just not closing out series. Like, they're not winning any series. So at the end of the day, I just feel like some teams have the ice and some teams don't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, from my POV about London is like they were on a decent run, and they shuffled their lineup. And I get like bringing in Afro. They want to get some reps. He's got some talent. He's gonna get some land experience. And then Alex, because his resume. But Alex hasn't played particularly amazing since he's come back to the team, and the results haven't showed. I don't want to put it all on Alex, but I think they just kind of shuffled the pack of players when they were starting to get their sea legs under them. And now they're just kind of out to sea, and they haven't been able to really get a good series win to get some momentum this stage. And again, as we talked about 2 minutes ago, like they've got to win a couple of these games and go to the major and basically get top 3 if they want an absolute chance of making top 8 in the champs this year.
Yeah, they got to go rogue. They got to go fucking rogue. And, something with the bottom half of these teams, like, when a lot of these maps are closer, you do see them winning maps, I feel like for the most part, they're usually scrappy. Like, when you watch a team like Toronto, like, they just seem like they're very methodical, and they're just very good with their teamwork. Like, you could just tell that they're on just a different tier of their own.
You could see how different the two teams play the game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's obvious.
It's night and day. It's night and day.
I would say the whole top 4 is like that because Optic's another team that's been pretty flawless against the bottom teams in the league. New York's had some dominant series. I think FaZe has the most sweeps in the league right now. Like, those 4 teams are definitely in a class above those teams. And then you got that next tier of teams 5 through 8 who can challenge, but they struggle and they get upset. And then you got the bottom 4 teams in the league where they're trying to figure out how to send the momentum and get something going.
Yep, and that's where the talent really shows. When you got 2 really good teams going at it, they know how to play the game. Then it comes down to talent and kind of who's winning those gunfights. Like, it comes down to little things like that. I think that's why FaZe are at the top of the league right now. But then we go into the S&D, and this one was a little bit closer than the first one.
Yeah, we're gonna watch this round. So this is the round where Paul 1v3
Who's
is
spinning in circles?
Was somebody spinning in circles?
Yeah, someone started spinning in circles on the map.
Wait,
That's what I'm saying. That's how they know. They don't even.
Yo, they were
they're not even
trolling, man.
respecting them, bro. They're not even respecting them. They're
trolling.
showboating.
They're trolling.
They're
out there.
showboating.
They're showboating.
Well, they get 1v3'd on this round, so maybe it didn't really pay off.
Maybe the spinning circles wasn't the best thing to do. But Paul X, yeah, he comes out and he gets a big 1v3 clutch, and we'll watch it on the screen. But it was a good clutch out of him. I mean, instead of getting tied up at 2 to start off the map, they end up going up 3-1. They end up losing the map. They choked the map, in my opinion. But, I mean, it was definitely a good clutch out of Paul X.
I think both teams kind of choked this. Toronto tossed a lot of rounds away. We skipped a few rounds early, and we're going to skip some of the middle, where Toronto's just going to get, like, 3v4'd. I don't want to watch. There's no point in watching all those rounds, but, like, Toronto got first blood in all the 2 rounds in this series, in this map, and they lost a couple of those. So it's like,
Oh, how are you getting picked?
Toronto trolled right here. They trolled.
I mean, that was tough from Cam.
Just the fact that he was planning for Esky and nobody was watching his Esky, and then one guy ran at him, not both of them. And then after it was a 1v2, he ran at him by himself. It's just like a lot of solo chows, a lot of dump plays. It just seemed like
Toby makes a weird play in this 1v1.
Definitely a weird corner.
I don't know why he didn't just run and
the Minnesota Optic corner.
Yeah. Well, he switches corners. Watch.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jeez, the Asim said that. Greenwall, if you would like to attack, Jeez the Asim on Twitter.
It's like right here, dude.
Oh wait, what the hell? Yeah, why did Toby play like that?
I just go down escalators. Just use escalators and finesse like it's over. And
he could have definitely played it better for sure.
Yeah, his teammate ends up in a similar situation like in this map and makes that play, but definitely he could have won this round.
Definitely a little bit wobbly, Ben. Definitely a little
wobbly.
A little wobbly.
A little bit of wobbly out of Toby.
That's the worst when you're like in a 1v3 and then your 2 teammates die. You're just like, wait, how do we just get into this situation right now?
Right, instantly, yeah, they're just instantly.
Like, yo, all right, guys, come on.
And then this round. So this was a round from London. Like, if you watch good teams on this map, the way they play, especially in these post-plan situations, at this site. They are rarely taking solo chows. They're trying to trade off each other, let the other team push them. Instead, watch the way that London ends up losing this round with individual plays that they try to make.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
Whoa,
Like Shawnee, I
what
don't
are
know
you
where
doing?
Shawnee was going. Yeah, he should have definitely just held. He tried to get pushed up into a different position. Bance finds 3, does he not? I'm pretty sure Bance finds 3 this
Yeah,
round.
Afro tries to play this
he
weird
goes
angle,
rogue.
but he just gets camera.
That's a bad angle.
Yeah.
Bad angle.
Yeah, that's not a good
And
angle.
then Alex is just in a 1v a million, and
He
there's not
doesn't
really
check
much
the
to do.
corner,
Okay.
and
200
then he's
IQ out of Bance. Let's
I
get
mean,
a
he
Wance
played
in
it
the
perfect.
chat.
I mean,
Let's get
Bance
a Wance in
absolutely
the
he
chat.
finessed. Oh, he's in the chat right now. How you doing,
Ben's
Ben?
gassing himself in the chat. but we'll
Ben
give him
Benz,
some-
hey,
yes,
good plays from you, Ben.
Fucking Wance, brother.
Good plays out of you, kid. You just pretty much just outplayed the fuck out of him. You see the frustrations coming out of London. I mean, some of these rounds they should definitely be closing out. and I
London was
think
up
they really
4-1 on this map, and
Yeah,
they
they-
lost.
Wait, Ben, did Alex play like bad statistically? Why is everyone in the chat saying that he's awful?
Alex
He didn't play
Alex
well.
had a tough series.
Oh, okay.
He ended up 36 and 52 in kills.
Well, I mean, like Alex hasn't played in a long time, and it's coming to that time of the year where like every team actually knows
He's just
what
behind.
to do. So
He's
he's
just
just
behind.
behind. It's gonna take him a couple of games to like get back into it.
yeah.
The
I agree with
issue
that.
though is they don't really have the luxury of time.
No, they
my
don't have the
friend.
luxury
so
of
that, So
time,
that's
no.
the double-edged sword. Just like,
Yeah.
he's got to get used to it, but you've also thrown him in a situation where they really need to win 3, realistically go 3-2 in their group and try and
then
Yeah.
win a
top 3 or
major.
4.
yeah.
Here
Yeah.
goes a Toronto
But
special.
that's like the thing though with these roster changes. Sorry to cut you off, Ian. I was just
No,
gonna
you're
say
good.
like even when the lower tier teams in the lower pack make these changes, it takes time to learn the game with the new players. So a lot of the time they're even setting themselves back even more instead of
Facts.
just
Yeah.
working with the system I already had and trying to improve that. So these roster changes obviously some work out, but we've seen a lot and some haven't.
Yeah,
And you go ahead,
no,
Tom.
I was just gonna say the Toronto special this round. They're always breaking ankles on this map. I mean, I don't know how people like they gotta be picking up on this, bro. If you see Toronto go B, go A. Rotate back to A.
Watch what happened. Watch what happened in
You
round
know what I'm
11.
saying? They break
ra-
ankles all map.
The round 11, they break ankles on defense like I've never seen before.
They
in this
do
map.
it every
the
single
defense was
time
crazy,
they
man.
play.
And I don't
this-
know how Paul X Hunt. I don't know how Paul doesn't get this kill.
Yeah,
So
that was a huge
he's got
That
full
would've
health.
been- this
He's got
would've
full
been
health in this
insane.
situation. I think he probably. I don't know. I feel like he doesn't miss. a
That
bullet.
was kind of nuts. I
I
don't
think
know.
he got joked right there. I think
We
he
need a
actually got
ping
joked.
check. We need a ping check. We need a ping check.
Yeah,
I mean, it
that's-
was Krieg versus Krieg, you know.
Wait, he got joked.
Good
Wait,
shot,
that was
Paul
Krieg versus
X.
Krieg. He
Krieg,
actually
though.
just got joked.
Hey, I'll tell you what though about this Paul X kid. This kid can fucking play. This kid's
good.
a good.
Yeah.
This kid's a,
He's
that
good.
guy's a good player, bro.
He's
I'm,
nice.
yeah,
He's
Paul
nice.
X is really good. I also played Afro in League Play the other day, and that kid turned on me, so he's nice too. He's fucking good too.
Were you mouse
Nah,
and
he's been
keyboard or
playing well.
controller?
Mouse and keyboard, come on.
Ah, come on then.
Come
on.
on.
You know what I'm
Tommy's not
saying?
getting turned on.
Come on, come on.
Control, that's
but
disrespectful.
but I
Kick him
have
off
been on the
show.
controller the last couple of days. I've been having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I've been having a good time on
So
that shit.
London ended up losing 4 rounds in a row to go from 4-1 to 5-4, and they end up winning this
that's
round.
brutal.
Well, they do end up forcing a round 11 here, so they do a nice job kind of
Ooh.
hard countering over here on the site. And they just play numbers and go. And then we'll watch the round 11. Like, just the round 11 was a great read from Toronto. You'll watch how it
We
plays
got,
out.
we got a little mixy there.
Basically, London tries to make the Toronto play. And you guys obviously know what the Toronto play is. You just go mid, and then when you don't feel like you want to go to B, just wrap A quick. Well, watch what Toronto does in this situation.
Well, they read it, do they not?
Does
Do they
someone
not read
see
this?
them wrapping this
They-
round 11?
They read the wrap.
That
They
was a great
read it.
call. But like, did
I
someone
mean,
see it on Toronto to
Let's
call that?
see. Somebody might have saw it. Let's see.
What was that?
He backed out.
I don't know what
let's
that
see.
was.
Somebody had to have saw something, or
That
something
was such
had
a
to have
good call. But
happened.
like, I feel if he just did that blind, genius.
Oh, look, they see Shawnee Street as well. Like, what?
Let's see.
This is crazy.
I think they know.
Oh,
I think the
number
minute they saw
4.
Shawnee on Chow, they just said fuck it. They're doing the exact play
Wow, that's
no,
actually
that
crazy.
number 3 might have saw something there.
We run it back
that we
then?
did.
I don't think so.
Ben Bance in the chat just said, I'll run it back in a sec. Ben Bance in the chat just said, nah, we didn't see them for a few seconds. We just called they were going to wrap. So it was,
That's crazy.
it was a
That's
great,
a
great
1,000
read from the
IQ.
team.
That's the difference,
1,000
brother.
IQ
That's the
totally.
difference from
IQ.
top
Yep.
teams.
And
Yeah.
then just believing in your teammate, just doing it, like
Yeah.
that's what separates
Ben
teams
says
for
that
sure.
that Kleenex called it.
Yeah, it's a good play. You see him go B, go A. Because it's all teams do on this map now. Moscow Cindy, it's just a mind game. Like, I feel like teams are just keep double backing and they try and play with the other team on offense. It's how you win in this game mode. I think top teams are gonna start picking up on it. And that's what we saw here in this round 11. And a good play by Ben too, by Bance to get pushed up, early because they just had
Ben
no
makes
idea.
these ratty
once he gets
angles,
there,
bro.
GG.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And then I
wow.
like the out of the map
What
play
a
too.
play.
Good play.
Ben's got all these ratty angles just like nailed down, man.
Yeah, really good play. Really good play from Bance. And then at this point,
Yeah.
Toronto go up 2-0. At a team like Toronto and the tier that they're in, I just didn't see them losing after this. I think London really needed
Well,
that
they're
second
like
map.
10-1. They're like 10-1 in their last 11 controls or something.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
they're
They only
very
lost
good at
us, I
control.
think, to what
They're very
phase?
good. They're very good at control. And one thing I like about Ultron Control, I feel like top teams do a good job at getting streaks. I mean, a big part of winning control games, especially on offense, is getting streaks. I mean, people need to make sure that they're focusing on getting their kills and playing their life.
It's also getting streaks on defense. So that's what the good teams are at, which is they get in that spawn trap and they get themselves streaks at the tail end of that round so they can either use them off the break, they're trying to hit B, or they have them in the back pocket for the end of the offense when they're trying to keep the other team out of bricks.
Like a lot of times, Ben, I see players really close to streaks, maybe 2 or 3 kills off. Even 3 kills, if you're 3 away from streaks, you're pretty close. You know, as long as and they just jump out, you know, they do some crazy shit. And it's just like, hey, if you actually just relax and play your life a little bit, and actually, streaks are so important, especially on some of these control maps to try and break into some of these points. If you could really focus on picking up streaks, it's a good play. It's a really good play, and that's what you see Ben do, right? He gets himself on a little bit of a streak. They go on to the offensive side, and he plays patient. He plays off his teammates, and he picks up some streaks. And, you know, it helps him. It helps him in the end to take this map and go up 3-1, Ben, and close it out. Close out the series.
Yeah, I mean, this was solid. Vance said apparently turn on someone, so we'll see if we see that.
Benjamin Vance,
as we watch this round, you know, let's talk about what's next for both these teams. So they're not going to play tomorrow, I believe. I think Toronto's next match, if I remember correctly, is going to be against LAG on Thursday. So it should be a dub in the bag for them. And then I think they play on Sunday against New York. So that'll be a huge match at the end of Sunday to see who gets number 1 in that group. I'm sure Asim is excited to square up against the Toronto boys. And then on the flip side for London, they're also going to play LAG next week. And that's a big match for them to try and at least get some separation, at least in the bottom 4 teams.
Yep, for sure. I'm excited to see what Toronto does moving forward. I feel like they're a great team, and I feel like you can never count these guys out. Obviously, they won a major this year, so they're gonna keep pushing. They're gonna keep practicing, and I also feel like they just have a good culture, a good group of guys. I feel like they work really hard every day, and they respect each other and trust each other. And we saw it in that S&D with the play call. You see it in their gameplay. They're just a really good team to watch. And in terms of London, I think they're a great team as well. I don't think London's a bad team. They just haven't been showing, you know, the results. They haven't been putting down the results.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, they made the change, and they haven't been like really on the cusp of.
Me personally, Ben,
like that label. Since they made the change, I think they got to win a couple more series.
Yeah,
before
me personally though, I see the potential in them. I really do. I see the potential in London. I feel like they have a lot of talent. They just have to put it together. And obviously, they're not doing that, and time is very limited. You're right. But I do feel like some of these bottom tier teams have what it takes to be good teams, but they're just not putting it together. So that's what I mean. Like, obviously, when I say great team and they're at the bottom, like, they're not showing it. They're not getting the results. And they're obviously not the best teams. They're not the best of the best. But by any means, they're not just dirt shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think London is just terrible. Like, I think when I watch them play, you see the potential. You see the ceiling that they had that they could hit. I don't know if anybody else in this call agrees with me.
That was disgusting.
Sorry,
no, you're good. Bench, that was a crazy.
Oh, Ben's
snap.
mad. He's ready.
Yeah, this was a nice fucking snap. My God,
God damn. I have a little bit different of a take.
Go ahead, Ian.
On London, I guess just the bottom 4 teams. I want your guys' opinion on it. So, as a competitor, I know obviously these guys probably all the teams in the bottom 4, London included, think hey, we still can make it, right? But realistically, if you're the management side, you got to know you have no shot making champs.
You're thinking about the future at this point.
Yeah, like it's done and dusted. And what I think, like London and other teams are doing, and if they're not, what they should be doing is just letting anyone get reps in, like they would do in normal sports when you can't make the playoffs, right? Because you want to see maybe you have someone that does have the potential to be great in the future for Call of Duty, right? But like if we're being honest, this London team, like maybe they decide to build around Paul X in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and Afro. I mean,
it's possible. But like,
I think Ian, I think that's a really good take. And the team, since London's clearly been cycling people, so they've got that read. It's not like Paris or Seattle have a deep bench, so I'm not really sure how they would go about it. I think the biggest question mark is LAG because they have a full academy team. Do they want to see what
They
those players
should.
can do at the pro level? So I think that probably label applies to them the most.
But that goes back to
But
my
they're
initial
also so
point, right?
close.
Yeah, but even with this London team, like, you know, it goes back to my initial point. Like, Paul X, I think we can all agree is a very good player. No? Paul X is great.
Yeah.
Afro, I think we could say the same thing. No? When I watch this kid
Afro's
play,
got potential.
he's
I mean,
got
we
a
gotta
lot
see
of
little bit
potential.
more, but I think, yeah, he can shoot
He's
back.
great. And then, Ben, you're a big fan of Shawnee. You always talk about how great of a player you think Shawnee is.
I don't know. Sean's been. Here's my thing about Sean is like they're gonna have a decision to make in the offseason with Sean. I think he's a serviceable AR. I think though, if they had the opportunity to upgrade in that position, I'm curious what they do.
No, I think the biggest problem with London that they didn't expect going to this year was not having Trey. I think they're gonna do a lot better building around like Afro and Paul X with the addition to Trey, because Trey is an unbelievable talent that's just sitting there in UK.
They got rid of him though. Did they take him off his London contract?
It's because there was no chance of him getting into the States. That's why. So they were probably I don't know. Like I'm just assuming, but Tommy, why would you pay someone like money but like they can't get to the States and compete? It's like they probably mutually parted ways because they're like, dude, this is not fair.
At all. I still I'm gonna be honest, and I don't like talking about this because I feel like I didn't even fucking know about Toronto, fucking UKNA, and I'm here talking about fucking visas and shit. Which is why I don't like talking about it, because it would be a very ignorant take out of me, because I don't know, I'm not educated enough on what's going on. It confuses the fuck out of me when I see so many people coming from overseas and like Trey just can't come here. Like I just don't understand it, and I know it's probably different from different areas and stuff like that, but because Trey's a professional athlete, listen, I know that's a whole take within itself.
People, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I know people don't look at these players as athletes and stuff, but it would be a work type thing, like a work visa or something. Every other team has had no issue getting players over here.
That's true.
That's the only reason
Like, how
why.
did Afro get him, but not Trey?
Afro,
Like,
Scraps, Wuskin's coming here now. Apparently, I'm hearing Wuskin's like all these kids are coming from Hydra. Asim's gonna be getting here soon, right? They're getting his stuff all worked out, and I'm hearing that he's gonna be here. So it's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like that, it just confuses
true.
me.
Actually, now that you bring that up, you're right. I don't know.
And that's where I start
Maybe Trey's
getting
a criminal.
Now there's gonna be theories on why he can't get in.
Hey, that happened with Tipsy back in the day.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it to the next series, but that's the only thing I'm saying is like that's what worries me. I had a feeling they didn't even want Trey to play on their team. I had a feeling they wanted to go elsewhere with the roster, and they didn't want Trey.
That's a big misplay.
That's a good conspiracy theory.
That's a huge misplay.
Which is where I'm like, that's the only thing that just clicks in my head, where I'm like, you know what, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. But I don't know. Let's go on to the next series because we had another good one. We have Paris Legion going up against the fan favorites, the Optic Chicago. This was another good series, and today Scumpy, he went the fuck off, right? A lot of Scump fans. A lot of people love Seth. We got to give him some love because this guy dropped what he have like a 1.38 or something.
Great for my fantasy team. Shout out him for that.
Oh, you got him on a fantasy?
This guy's dick riding
I'm playing DJ Goldman this week, and it's looking good. Thanks
hey, listen, we've said a lot of negative things about Optic on this show as well when things haven't been going their way. But today, they get the gas because they came out and did their fucking thing, and Scump did his thing as well. So, good win from the Optic boys. And, Paris didn't look too bad either at times. Again, they show signs of life here or there.
Paris could have won this first map. I mean, I think Optic showed great resilience against a Paris team that I think right now is not playing their worst call, which is a change. They're just not closing out these series, and Optic did the little things. Especially in map 2 and map 4 to go ahead and close us out.
No, they did their thing. This one went all the way down to the wire. This first map was important. I mean, we went into another listening with Paris, and when we get to it, we'll tune in. But again, they brought the energy today. I think after yesterday's win, I think it's just something that's really working for them. I think Temp is a big one when it comes to the communications. Like, he's really just putting in that passion and energy into the comms, and I think it's really helping this team. But today, again, they didn't get the W. And, Temp came on the show prior to coming into this weekend, and, he talked about how, they only need one good weekend. They need to just start having some good results, and it's not over till it's over. But, listen, man, Ben says it time and time again. Time is limited, huh, Ben? It's running out, man. It really is. What are you going to do?
My thing about Don, too, is, like, he definitely is bringing the energy. He's been the X factor on, like, all these teams he's ever been on. And this team, I don't think, is no different from all those situations. Do we want to go this listening?
Yeah, let's go into the listening and see how Paris Legion sound.
Every caution plot.
Go tunnel.
He's
Go
top
tunnel.
cat. He's top cat. Top cat.
Absolute. Lay down behind the caution plot.
Take your time. Take your time.
Lay down behind the
Yeah, one's front, one's front.
I'm gonna
Top
kill
cat.
this
Top cat. Left side.
Yo, front envoy.
Alright.
Top cat. Former one shot.
Envoy's front. He went.
Yo, former squaring up cat, bro.
I'm gonna help Dark, bro. I'm gonna help Dark.
I flashed him.
Come dead.
Push that
Nice,
tunnel. Push
nice,
that
nice,
tunnel.
nice.
He's going back to the hill from tunnel.
Dark, hurt. Envoy.
Absolute, bro.
Top green. Former.
Caution.
Former dead. One more in the hill.
Dark
Brandon.
dead, Dark dead.
Nice.
Brandon in the hill.
Still alive in the left. Still alive in the left.
Okay, this kid, where was that?
Top cat.
He's
Couldn't you
under-
up? He's laying down.
under
Top cat.
No top cat.
He dropped B hop.
Yo, Charlie hill. Brandon.
What's low ven on you?
Can we get Brandon out
Actually,
the
no,
hill?
no,
I'm gonna be one.
Set this low ven.
That's him, man.
He could be dark.
In the bin.
P1,
Set
P1,
that.
nice,
In the
nice.
bin.
Nice, two.
Look
Look at this guy.
Envoy
He went left
side
side
mid.
mid. He went left side mid.
Yep,
Look
that's
what's
him.
top green.
I'm gonna put him up. He can go rails.
He's mid. Rails.
I need
Run
you
now,
to
Envoy.
rails. I need rails. He's there still.
Stop. Hey, P1.
Envoy dead.
P1,
Left
Brandon.
green.
P1 dash. You sit down. He's mid. You saw him mid.
I thought green.
Top
Still
P1.
going.
Top cat. Top cat.
Close rails.
That's
Top
in
cat
green.
too.
Top cat. Top
Top
cat.
cat. One more top cat formal. He's going top green window. In top green window.
Top green.
Nice.
That-
Okay,
Three
guys.
Three. That cat mid.
Close mid,
I'm
close
hopping
mid.
up.
I didn't hit him.
Sorry.
He's still tanked.
Let's have mid.
Oh,
Everyone
you're
dead.
not nice
What
job.
square? What square?
Hold on.
What square?
Time, I'm working on mid. He's P1.
That's one
Dash
tunnel.
is P1.
Close green box.
P1
Close
stairs.
green. Close green.
Dash
hurt.
on you, P1 stairs. Dash you.
Dashy on the
That's
stairs.
dead.
Nice shit.
They're alive,
Scump
they're
is
done.
green. Still alive.
He's above you, down
He's
above
top
you. Yeah, he's still there.
I got shot in the back. Low
hold him, hold
rails.
him.
He's mid tank.
He's low
Still
hill.
alive.
Low mid.
Still
Low
there,
rails. Low rails.
That's my
Yeah,
behind
I
him.
heard you, I heard
He's
you.
picking your side. He's picking your side.
I can kill the guy real
Back
quick.
tank. Back
Dash,
tank.
you got rails.
Still rails. He's still
Rails
rails.
He's
dead,
back
rails
right.
dead, rails dead.
Dash. One more top
Back
green.
lights.
Top green above me.
All right, so I'll set it off there. I mean, it was a good listening, right? Another day.
I
Another,
mean,
good
my-
energy. What's the problem, Ben? Too
My
frantic?
issue, I like the comms like that are a double-edged sword.
Uh-huh.
They're bringing a lot of energy, but it's also
Hate comms
pretty
like that.
It's pretty frantic.
Yep,
so
some
like,
people don't like it.
it swings the other way very fast if like the momentum is not in your favor. Like you just people just start getting annoyed. Like things start getting missed. Like the comms start dragging a little bit. So they need a little bit more consistency. Like the energy is great. You just can't be that frantic usually for most teams.
I think you got to know when you can bring the energy and get hyped and when you got to make sure things are controlled and you're not missing things, right? I mean, you know, you get 4 dead, you start fucking screaming at shit, you know? Like, there's times.
yeah.
There's times
Yeah.
where you get hyped and there's times where you need to stay chilled, and I think that's where the best commerce come in, right? We heard it in the Optic listening. We're formal, very calm, directing everything, calming out like crazy. Then he pops a 3-piece and he goes, let's go. You know, he starts fucking getting hyped. There's certain times to bring the energy, and there's certain times to you know, to keep it on the low. But Enable, you said that, you know, you don't like comms like that. Why as
Hate
a
'em,
player?
Top.
Why, Enable? Tell me. You don't speak to me.
That's basically as basic as you can get when it comes to communication at the professional level. Like just like, you know, first very loud or just like a little too hype. Wow, like you're engaging in gunfight stuff. It's not like you get a 3-piece, but like you're only calling the players out. There is no sense of direction. There's no small talk. Like communication, it should like it should be like you're having an actual conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Just
Like,
talking
hey,
to
Tom,
each other.
Tom, I need you to hold the back.
Yeah.
Ben, go pick up the hill. Look here, I got this. Like, that's how everyone gets on the same page. And then, yeah, maybe if you guys get a team wipe, whatever, you get hype. But like,
Or
I
if
don't know,
somebody's
I-
coming up behind you, you get
Yeah,
louder, right?
like
If
it's an
somebody's like
important
about to
call
flank you, something important, you're like behind you, you get hyped, right? You get hot, you get higher. Like there's certain things you stress, and there's certain things that should be calm, just so everybody could stay in that zone.
exactly.
and
It rubs
stay
me the wrong
focused.
way because that's
Yeah.
it's basic. It takes no talent to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just to actually be a good communicator. It's just effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, and adding on to that, when you are calling out like that at all times, you can lose a lot of like
Energy.
words can get lost.
Yeah,
Mhm.
words. Yeah,
Everyone
words can
yelling.
get-
Everyone's
yeah.
yelling. Everyone's talking loud. So someone might not hear a call out. They might not block. They might not rush and get that trade. Like so many things could happen with frantic comms. There's times where you got to get frantic, of course, but you want to keep it to like a bare minimum. I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm curious
100%.
to see what you guys say. What do you guys think is like? What team do you guys think has the best comms so far this year?
There's a lot of good teams with good comms. I think Optic has good comms. I think Optic's listening today was
Optic's a
nice.
good
I
one.
think
Optics was
FaZe.
good. I like Toronto's.
Toronto
you,
has
you
good
like Toronto's?
comms.
I feel like Toronto's a great team, but in terms of
I
like,
like their comps.
I don't know. I feel like they're way too quiet.
They're
But, I mean, it
they're a
works for
weird
them.
one to me. Sometimes I listen to their comms and I'm like, what the fuck? And then sometimes I'm listening to it and I'm like, it sounds good. You know, it depends. Like it's different. And whenever my opinions change on it, people are like, you're flip flopping. Well, I'm gonna be honest. Every listening sounds different to me. You know, it doesn't matter if it's the same team. You know, some days they sound better than other days. It's just
Yeah.
how it
Yeah.
is.
It
but-
also comes down to your personality. Like I don't, as a player, I fucking team with Clay. Like Tom and Dylan, you know, pure momentum player.
yeah.
But like I don't necessarily need the hype. You know what I'm saying? I could do straight up conversation like we're here for business
the whole time.
and that's it. Yeah, like I don't need someone getting hyped if they get a 2-piece.
Yeah.
Get me going.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Ben,
I'm
what
not
about you?
against it either. You just need to do it at the right times.
I mean, I've always described, Ian and I have had conversations about this for a long time. And like, I kind of agree with Ian's theory. Like, the more consistent way to guarantee that you're always getting 100p out of your comms is just like avoid the frantic, like the momentum elements, and try and just always have the cool, calm, and collected comms, and just it kind of builds trust in your team to execute those like
Consistently.
really, really tough situations or close out games a lot better.
I mean,
I mean,
looking
that's
at
not what
it
I
here,
asked, though,
Ben.
Ben.
What was your question?
I said, who do you think? What team do you think has the best comms?
I think all four
Tommy's
top.
gonna say
I
FaZe
think
Watch.
I think all four top teams have the best comps.
You gotta
they
pick
all-
one, Ben.
They all
the
have
best
different
one?
styles, so none of all of them kind of do it differently.
He wants to say FaZe so bad, Tom.
No, no,
Ben, you can say FaZe if you think FaZe. I mean,
I
they
don't
have good
think- I don't think
comms.
it's
I mean,
Yeah,
FaZe.
they do.
I don't-
They do.
I-
They do.
Then who do you think it is?
their comms are a little frantic. I mean, I think Asim, you guys have times have good comms.
You gotta pick one, Ben. You
all
gotta
four-
pick
Well,
one.
it's just
I'm
tough
not-
because
I need-
Hydra
I
doesn't
need
really
an
speak
answer
well
out of you.
English.
Yeah,
If I
he
do-
doesn't.
if-
But
Wait,
No,
what
but
did you say?
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Hold up. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I do want to say one thing. I love NYSL's dynamic in their
Yeah.
comms. Like I'm giving Hydra a pass. You know what I'm saying? So he can be a little bit quiet there, but I like how they communicate and how Clay directs. And I do think Clay's gotten a lot better with choosing moments to get hype. Because back in the fucking day, Clay would kill one guy in the back and scream, and I can't hear shit. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like
happens
he
sometimes.
seems like he's doing a much better job of picking when to get hype for you guys to like keep the momentum going.
No, yeah, a lot of casters and fans say us, but I was just curious to see what you guys
No,
said.
it's true. Back in FaZe, Ian used to get mad, bro. We honestly, we all used to get mad sometimes.
You used to get heated.
Yeah,
Clay,
we
you're
always
fucking double name.
sometimes
Why
it'd be
you
like Clay,
screaming?
bro. I never forget. Clay went 4-23, and the Matt Bendon, he said, "I thought I was frying." I said, "Clay, you're fucking quadruple fucking negative. What do you mean you thought you were frying?"
Yo, that was the funniest shit. when
I
he said
couldn't
that.
believe he said that. I was like, man, I don't want this fucking guy. But what are you gonna do? Clay's just a different breed, man. You know, he's a great person to have on your team. So you know that guy's the GOAT. But Ben, I saw that you paused the game here. Is there a reason you paused it here?
Yeah, this is sort of a couple of areas where I think Paris has ended up not closing out this game. So it was a pretty back and forth second rotation at this point. Teams kind of traded hills. But Paris got an opportunity here. Yeah, I know it's split spawns, where they spawn bricks. They had an opportunity to signal the guy coming off of that P3 spawn, and they had an opportunity to put the team, aka Optic, in a real trap and close this out. Instead, they lose a lot of individual fights here. I don't know how Don doesn't get this kill. They get outslayed by the guys coming off a tank. And now all of a sudden, it kind of what should have been a situation where they were able to get this first 20 seconds becomes very mixy. And I'll kind of speed through this hill. But ultimately, Paris doesn't really end up getting much time on this hill. They end up having to kind of rotate and play for P1. So that's basically 30, 40 seconds right off the bat there. They end up doing a good job kind of pushing through green, getting a kill. But the spawns get flipped because of it. Optic end up normalizing those brick spawns. And then we get kind of a mixy P1. And I'll kind of play it out from here, and you guys will see how it sort of ends.
Yeah, it was a little weird that they all pushed through green like that. I mean, they sent pretty much the whole team there, didn't they? Send like 3 guys through green, and then
I don't mind the green play.
It was okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I personally do mind it. I don't think they should have just all done that because, you know, Optic gets all the information in the world. You know, all of Optic knows they're there. They pin Paris into green. And then at that point, Optic's able to get a free flip. They just push right through. It's a free flip. You get the P1 time. You get most of the scrap. Like I still think people need to be filling in like L and square, and then sending people green. Like it all needs to be filled in.
They ended up though like holding top green, and they ended up flipping spawns back. So again, I don't think
It almost shot them in the ass.
What happens is here, like they get set up for this P2 hold that they should be able to close out the game.
Yeah, they should have closed it out here regardless. Yeah.
And they lose.
How did they
Yeah.
lose this?
They died. Somebody dies in the back. I think Donnie loses a big one right here. Bang, right there. Donnie wins that. GG.
I don't like how they had no one looking in bricks though. Like why
Yeah,
did they let him
yeah.
run in bricks for free? Like that Donnie shouldn't be the first one in an engagement with the guy in bricks.
That's
Like, they should
true.
have
That's
some
true.
info like yo they're in bricks
Yeah.
or yo I'm shooting him like a team shot something. I don't like how they just gave it up completely.
No, it was
Bro,
definitely a weird setup for
Well,
sure.
hold on. Number one is like
They're
you're
watching the
there's
same thing essentially.
Number one
him
and
and
number
Donnie.
4 are watching the same lane essentially.
Yeah.
You're right.
Number
He's no
one
one
could have been
Bricks.
like Brick's door and just watched the push in, and then he could have been like, "Yo, he's hurting Bricks. They're in there now. Donnie probably gets a kill if the guy's hurt a little bit, and they probably hold the setup." But
Yeah.
But
just
yeah,
let
they
him in
don't
for
even have
free.
any info mid, so like, how would they know that they're going around the back?
Well, they definitely turtled too. Like they're just so far back. Like they could have definitely stayed pushed up a little bit more in bricks and just hold some of these
yeah.
lanes.
You
work
would
some
have thought with the setup
crossfires.
they had is that
Yeah.
someone was saying that they're going around
And
the
then-
back, but they're not. They're going to bricks.
Yeah,
And
I
there's
mean
a little
Donnie
bit
was
of-
also in a weird spot too. He's just kind of in the open.
He
Just
should have
Yeah.
been playing like a herb.
Yeah, yeah,
They,
yeah.
like
yeah,
you know
yeah.
that they have to. They're gonna be rushing, so make them have to look for you. You just sat in the middle of the open.
Yeah, it was a weird
This
spot.
might have been the one situation where you probably could have flown out of green and pinched all these guys in the back if you felt like they were all hitting the back.
Ben, you
but
keep bringing that up.
it's-
But
it's-
it's very
that's
risky,
very-
Ben.
very
Nah,
risky
they
play.
It's very
didn't
hard
have
to
to
hit
hit
that play.
That's
Ben.
why I said with hindsight. I don't.
No,
Yeah,
but
no,
Ben,
it
you were
comes- it
saying
comes down
yesterday
to
too.
Don.
Like
Yeah.
it looks open on the mini map, but it's hard to do, dude. It's
Yeah,
not.
I know. That's why I said with hindsight. I don't think it's like a play you're gonna read in that situation, Asim.
Yeah, I mean Formal picks up a big 3 piece as
Yeah.
well, right? Formal gets a big 3. I think if Maddie would have won that gunfight, would that extra Optic player have spawned there? Would they have spawned there? I don't even know. It happened so fast. But I think that was a big gunfight win for Maddie. He got one, but he couldn't get the 2 piece, so he was left in a shit spot regardless. Maddie.
And
Was left in a
at
shit
this
spot.
point, they're trying to set up this big pincher on the back. Like they run out of time here to be able to hit the hill. I just felt like this was a situation where Paris literally just needed a wave of kills and they would have won it.
Oh yeah, if they get the
just-
first kill right there, that's probably a game. Like they
Didn't
probably
play with
hold that
confidence.
setup.
I don't understand why players continuously do this. Not even Donnie, but it's like you have to think when the game's gone down to the wire and you have full control. You all you have to do is make the other team make the mistake.
Yep.
Donnie literally could have fucking laid on his dick somewhere and they win the game.
I mean, even right there when Formal goes on top of the trailer, even Yuli on hill, like he could have like probably stayed down behind the green thing and fucking I don't even know what the fuck that shit is. That green thing on the hill and just kind of like stayed behind
Yeah,
it
the
and
tank,
like like delayed some time. Like he's just like caught with his pants down. Like his whole team is dying in the back and he's just looking at front green with his teammate. Just like look at him. Like look, Formal. He comes around the back. He's on the tank. Like look where Yuli is. Like his teammates are dying in the back. Like you would think that he would get down and like head glitch it and finesse it. You know, like everybody. You know how Salium's always on top of that shit, fucking looking through the cracks and finessing and playing his life. Like they all just seemed like they gave away their lives. And we also got to give credit to the other side, Optic, because you know they did a good job
Good break.
breaking. Yeah, they waited for each other.
Yeah.
They worked some trades and they got the kills. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
a crunch
I mean,
time break too.
honestly,
That's not easy.
honestly, too, Tom, I wouldn't be surprised after listening earlier if Donnie was in that situation because he realized that Bricks was open and he tried to like, you know what I'm saying? Like he put himself in a bad situation because he realized Bricks was open, but it was already too late because of their comms. That's probably a hot take, but I wouldn't be surprised because he was in the middle of the open.
Yeah, you could be
Yeah.
right. You could definitely be right.
Yeah.
I mean, the comms have a lot to do with stuff like that. When you see a lot of people messing up their setups and not getting trades, and you see a lot of faulty plays, I mean, usually it comes down to the comms for the most part. Either comms or just individual plays. But then we go into a standoff S&D for the second map, and you know, Optic they set the tone. They set the tone. There's a lot of problems in this map, a lot of issues. I mean, first Envoy, right? Hector tweeted out that he was having controller issues, or not controller issues, the start screen, or he
start
couldn't
screen.
change his classes.
Yeah.
He couldn't change his classes, and then somebody ended up having problems again. They had to restart the match. Personally, I thought it was fucking up Optic's momentum because they were up, what, 4-0? Weren't they up like 4-0 or 3-0 or something? They were up. They were up.
They start up 4-0.
And I was like, oh, shit, here we go. You know, Optic's up 4-0. You know, the shit's hitting the fan. Envoy couldn't switch classes when they were up 4-0, which is bullshit, but they were also steamrolling rounds. I was like, in my head, I was like, just keep using the same class until you lose a round because of momentum, right? But, I mean, at the same time, like, it's got to be frustrating if they have something in their head that they want to do, and he can't switch classes. So that's definitely a huge issue. But they ended up getting it fixed. But Optic, they set the tone early, Ben, and they took it under control, you know, and they did what they had to do. What impresses you the most with Optic, Ben, in this standoff S&D?
I mean, Optic play really good by the book S&D. We've seen it now for at least like a month and a half.
This is a good map for them.
They really the only teams they really
Yeah, they
struggled
fried us
in-
on this map.
Yeah,
It's a really good map for them.
they're really good at a lot of these. How do I frame it? They do a really good job against the mid and low pack teams in terms of executing their strategies, not blowing 3v4 rounds, getting first bloods, and putting the team on a disadvantage. Where they get in trouble is against the better teams that do a much better job counter-stratting their plays and have much better mid-round calls. That's where it gets a little bit mixy. But like overall, where Optic was with their S&D game, like at the beginning of the season, they are leaps and bounds better than they were at that moment.
Yeah, I feel like this map fits their playstyle too. This map, they're allowed to stay patient, right? They can hold all the lanes, get their info, and work up the map together. And it's a big AR heavy map, and you just see Formal ego challenge people mid map. You know Formal, he likes the ego challenge shit. So he's challenging everybody mid map. You know Brucey likes to challenge people. There's no snipers. This map would be played completely different with snipers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This shit would be nuts.
Oh yeah.
It'd be exciting. I mean, but then again, you know, you got Formal and Dashy on your team that run snipers too. Like, you know, I would have loved to see some snipers on this map. I would love to see it back in S&D, but that's probably not gonna happen. But they
Yo,
just do a
bros,
good job.
I gotta head out now. I'm sorry for my early exit, but
It's okay,
I
All
dude.
good.
We appreciate you coming on. We were gonna talk about your match, but you know, if you gotta go,
I'm
you gotta
sorry.
go.
Just know I get smoked first map. I turn it up.
I like that. I like that, dude. Well,
Alright,
hey, dude, thanks for coming on, boss.
Have a good day,
Alright,
Dill.
thank you for
Have
having
a
me.
good day.
Have a good night,
fucking
bros. Have a
day.
good
Have a
stream.
day. Thank you, bro. Later, bro.
Peace.
But yeah, I think they should do a good job working off one another and doing what they got to do. But you know, Ian, Asim, you know, you guys got any input on this or what?
No, I just think S&D's been a really good game mode for Optic, and they just continue to show it.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I mean-
individually as well. Sorry, and Scumps is probably one of his best, if not his best.
Yeah, the best
game
S&D
for
game.
S&D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I was just gonna go off to what Ben
This
said
would've been
earlier.
nuts,
If he would have clutched
clutched
it, it was
yeah.
good shots by Donnie, honestly, with the pistol.
I'm surprised Donnie didn't shimmy check.
Yeah,
the
I know.
bomb.
Donnie didn't check the bomb.
That's
for
what I was
like
wondering,
10
too.
seconds and then just
Yeah.
shell.
I don't know. Interesting plays, but says Scump's been on another level in S&D. It's been his best game mode this year, has it not? In
Yeah,
terms
yeah, I
statistic
believe
wise,
so.
I
It
mean,
might
in
be,
terms
yeah.
of terms of,
He's-
in terms of his stats, yeah, it has. I'm pretty sure. But he's been doing his thing, and when Scumpy's fine in S&D, you know, you play around him. You know, play around him and let him like make those plays and just kind of work the map around him. And you also have Envoy too, who likes to take routes and take risk in S&D. So I just think they have a good balance. They have a good balance in this game mode. And let's be honest, S&D is the best game mode to be good at. I mean, if you're good at S&D, you know, we always say S&D wins championships. So I like watching these guys play. They're very methodical. I also want to give a shout out to you know, to the devs and the CDL and stuff. The pause feature is really cool. I really enjoy seeing the pause feature and the timeouts be integrated into this stuff like this. You know, just so we can keep the rhythm of the game going. They ended up. Am I echoing over here? I feel like I'm echoing. You know, I'm hearing an echo.
No, you're not echoing.
I don't hear it.
No, I definitely
No,
heard an echo.
I heard it. I heard it as well. I
It
don't
was
know.
on
what
stream. I don't know. That was weird.
It might have been my headset, but go ahead.
It's okay. We're good. I don't hear it anymore. But I mean, yeah, Optic they be doing their thing, and you know, it was cool to see the pause feature get added in. So I want to see that used a little bit more if there's problems, because sometimes it's used and sometimes it's not. But
I don't know why Paris picked standoff, though. I'll be honest, Ben. You know how many goddamn reps Scump has on standoff? Facts. Think about it.
he does have a lot of reps.
Thousands, dude. Thousands.
He does.
Yeah,
he
I
does.
mean, from the Paris POV, they might be trying to they might think they have a really good set of strats, though, and they're trying to really expand the pool. You know what I mean? But I agree.
That's true.
Optics looked pretty good in this map, and I would be shocked if the better teams square up with them on this map.
Yeah, but then we go into the control, right? I mean, Optic, they do what they had to do in the S&D. They pretty much just play their game. We talk about Scump and a lot in the S&D, but we got to talk about Scump again in the control, because this guy needed some help in this map, I think. Scump, he was doing it all. He was picking up all the kills. I think this guy was like double positive at one point. His team couldn't get anything going, but you got to give credit to Paris as well for coming out and taking this third map. How's their control record, Ben? Didn't you say that Paris is, or were you talking about Seattle? I think you were talking about Seattle and their control.
Seattle's control record's common.
Yeah, it's absolute dog meat. But I mean, Donnie, 10P ended up going big this map, picking up some streaks, able to close this one out. But Paris, they come out and win the control, Ben.
Yeah, and it was looking pretty slow actually in this first round because Optic ended up winning offense, and I was like, oh, here comes the 3-0. But Paris is able to respond right away, and then they clutch up on another. They basically win 3 rounds in a row. They clutch up on defense, and then they get their offense, and they end up 3-1 and staying alive in the series.
Yeah, they were able to pick up some streaks and you know, close it out, just stack some points and get some kills. But it really goes to show that, you know, the first map, right, it comes to like little mistakes at the end from Paris, right? Optic clutches up, how close that first map is. I mean, Paris could be up 2-1. You know, they come out, they lose the SD, but then they win the control. I mean, if they close out the first map, it's just how different a lot of these series can be going if some of these teams just ice up and clutch up. So, you know, you got to give credit to the teams that are coming out and clutching at those final moments. I think that's what makes a really good team a really good team. And I think that's the difference between a lot of the top teams and the bottom teams. But, you know, we see the same old story coming from most of these teams, right? They work the kills through kitchen and through the back, and they try and stack these points and try and work those spawn kills. And, You know,
Well, Scump kind of also team kills Envoy here, and it's kind of
Oh, this
yeah,
is the artillery, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
questionable.
This was tough. I'm not sure what happened there with the comms. I'm not really sure.
yeah.
What do you think happened right there? Just like a mess up at comms? Maybe he just thought that people were pushing it. I don't know what the heck happened right there.
Well,
It's,
someone might have called their water falling out of windows, so Envoy tried to get a pick or two. But Envoy in the chat said, "I'm just a bonehead." I mean, was
okay,
definitely a tough
there
bounce.
you go. Homeboy said he's a bonehead. Nice one, Dill, coming
The
from
streaks
Scump.
have a mind of their own sometimes, though.
Yeah.
I'll be the one to say it.
I mean, sometimes I feel like I remember when I was playing, the fucking 2 bombs would hit, and then 3-4 seconds later, the 3rd bomb hits, and I said, "What the fuck? I could have sworn it was over. You know, I could have sworn that shit was done."
I mean, to be fair though, your team was on the end of one of the best counter streak plays I've ever seen in my entire life.
What the fuck are you talking about?
When Dylan's 1v3.
Oh.
Dylan
You gonna
just
talk
said-
about that with Scump in
Dylan
here?
said, "Well, we'll see you later through the artillery." I know it's tough, but I have to bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely not the best artillery for Optic. You know, they probably fucking hate that moment because what are you gonna do? But definitely, I want to give some credit to Temp to close out this series because I think he played his life really well. And what was I talking about?
Made a great play.
Made a great play.
Great play at the end of the game.
What was I talking about the Toronto series, right? The streaks, right? Just being able to go on a streak and pick up those streaks, it can really help you close out some of these maps. And that's what Temp did, right? He picked up some streaks. He got himself into a little bit of a rhythm, and he was able to help his team, secure the save point, use his streaks, and get on that beat point and do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? So, good bounce back from Paris. It's a shame that they didn't close out that first map, but that's why you got to give credit to Optic.
30 and 15.
He was on a different. Hey, Scump
he
was
had an absolute
frying.
crazy series.
The guy was on his LeBron
He
shit.
keeps going.
Yeah, he wasn't missing. I mean, he wasn't missing. He was just. You could tell that he's hitting that zone, right? Every player hits that zone, and you can
Got
always
caught there.
see in Scump's gameplay, like when he hits that zone. I mean, come on, we've been watching Scump play for years. Like when he hits that zone, when he's feeling it. Like when people are playing, they're probably like one here, dead. One here, dead. Got him over here. Turn him, pitch, dead. You know what I'm saying? Like Ian, Asim, you guys play.
Yeah, of course.
Nah, when Seth's in rhythm, and he's comfortable, I still think to this day that's his greatest strength.
He's
as a
still
sub player.
popping pieces.
Yeah, he's still popping pieces. Like he's got unbelievable aim, but he's the best.
Awareness. His awareness
on like when to aim in when he's in rhythm. He's just a step ahead of you. He's always been like that.
I mean, that's the difference between a lot of top players is like, a lot of people have the talent, but it's like the game knowledge, the awareness, when to push, when to hold. And then on top of that, when you put all those skills with a talented player who shoots really fucking straight, I mean, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? He just
He's the king for a reason.
Yeah, he's the king. He's
Holy
the king
fuck,
of CoD.
his team costed though, Tom.
Yeah, his team. I mean, his team struggled this map. His team struggled for sure. I mean, they did. I mean, I'm not. I mean, his team struggled. I mean. Listen, I don't know what it was like, but they had a bad match. It's gonna happen, right?
Wait, does it go to a round 5?
No, they
No,
lose.
Wait, that was insane timing, Ben. And Yuli? Oh my god.
Yeah, insane timing here. This is the round where Donnie he gets some streaks, and then he takes the ultra mega super route all the way around through basketball, picks up some kills.
I want to see this. He goes outer as he pushes up outer as well.
That's crazy.
Wait, how did
They
he
didn't hear each other?
Bro,
nor
he was
did they
behind the
see each
van
other.
when he crossed. It's actually wild. Watch
That is
this.
nuts. That is
He
nuts.
hops, number 8, Scump hops out
Isn't
of
that
one.
crazy? Isn't
COD
that fucking
timing.
crazy?
Behind the
Yeah,
van.
yeah,
COD timing
yeah.
at
I
its
can't see it.
It's
finest.
just like it happens so much too.
Wait,
It
and then he
happens so
goes
much.
pillars? Oh
Yeah,
my
He
god.
doesn't see him, and then even when he turned left a little bit and looked at mid, he was behind the pillar. It didn't see him, but then he ends up dying anyway. Ends up going down.
Okay, yeah, it didn't matter.
But see right here, Donnie, he picks up the streaks. You got 25 seconds left, and look at the route that Donnie takes, right? He streaks, and right here, if I know Donnie correctly, he probably going, I'm taking a route, right? And he's probably saying, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive. He's probably screaming it. He's probably trying to tell his team, like, listen, I'm taking this route. If you wait for me, I'll get these kills to open it up, and we'll get on this point and win the game. And honestly, it's a good play because with time dwindling down like this, there's only 7 seconds left. Optic doesn't expect them to be hitting this. They probably just didn't even...
This was dope.
Yeah,
What the
it was a good
hell?
round.
It was
Hey,
great clock management.
Wait, but yo, Tom, we've said this many times. That play doesn't always work, and I think it's very high risk, but it's all attributed to his teammates. If his teammates don't stay alive and Tiki there, they
it's
probably
huge.
don't win.
It's huge. There's nothing more infuriating as a player, especially someone like me who always was hitting pinches and hitting routes when I'm screaming, stay alive, and, nobody stays alive, and then I go back and watch it, and, everybody's challenging stupid shit and dying, and it's like, okay, well, the whole play was...
insane.
Well,
at
Florida
Paris,
being
did
set
similar
up.
play against you guys yesterday, right?
Hey, look at Maddie in the chat. He said, I
Yeah,
dodged
Caesar?
like 4 nades.
Yeah.
But
I think
the
the
round's
biggest
already
thing,
over
though,
before Caesar
Seam,
did that.
The
Go ahead.
biggest difference is the time that he did it. Like if someone's trying to take that long route, right, because you want them to spawn out longer so you can get the point. But if you have like a minute on the clock, I think teams are going to be more likely. Like one of the guys basketball would have been watching the flank. But like in Donnie's head, 7 seconds left on the clock. Optic's thinking they're hitting kitchen, they're hitting front.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Good point.
And everybody's watching the flank right now. How you doing? You know what I'm
oh
saying?
shit!
Well,
like
well,
that?
let's,
Okay.
Get my flank.
You
Get my
like
flank.
that? You like
Get my
that?
flank.
Moving over
Watch my
to
flank.
this map. This is another map where Paris got off to a pretty good start. They go up big. They execute these first 2 hills great, and then it just kind of all falls apart. Optic really get it going on the back half of this rotation. They don't look back from there, and they end up closing.
You know what it is? I mean, hey.
It's the hill chains, Tom.
No, it's the hill chains and it's the comms. I mean, we gotta listen to the listening. I mean, the comms were incredible, and it was like even before, like when I was listening to it, I was like, damn, like this formal guy is this guy's cracked. You know what I'm saying? This guy's going real. His comms are good, and that's always been a really good skill that he's had. His comms.
That's true. His
game.
comms.
He's always been like that. Like so, just listening to them, it's like. He's just a great teammate to have because when shit's hitting the fan, when things are getting hectic and you have somebody in your ear staying calm and just giving you so much information for you to use, it just really helps you. And I think it helped him, right? I mean, Paris, like Ben said, had a really good start and Optic was able to turn this map around and just go on an absolute tear through the second half of this game. So, we'll go into the comms. Somebody said the froze P3. What does that mean? Somebody froze on P3?
I think Optic, they had that connection interrupted.
Again?
Oh, wait, is that why they were both basketball? Or you talking about? Oh,
No,
I think he's
I'm
talking about this map.
This map? Oh,
Again?
okay.
Is that a problem with the server?
That's
Is that something going on at the HQ? I wonder what's going on with that.
But yeah, I don't know. There's something weird about this game where teams, it's like really easy to chain hills if you get in that rhythm, and like you'll see every team do it. But like, there's no lead that's comfortable in this game, Tom. Like, I feel like the only time you've seen crazy comebacks, especially on Checkmate, where a team will be up 100-0 and then they'll come back and win. It's like,
I mean, you're never out.
But as a fan, looking at it, it's like, oh my god, you just choked 100-0 lead. It's like, no, dude. Like, you can chain one and a half hills and you're back in it.
Yeah. You could chain hills. I mean, at the same time, though, I still think Paris could have done a better job, closing out this map, but. You got to give credit to Optic for staying composed and
What's this play from Matty right now?
I mean, honestly, it was a good play.
It was a good play.
I thought it was very ratty, and
but he just shot too early.
Mouse in the house.
Nah, he still got the kill though. He slid across. He got the kill. He opened it up, and right here, I was like, okay, Paris, they're really getting going now.
People said the freeze was actually back here.
Yep, they're there. Look, they're all frozen right there.
Oh my god, no,
that's tough.
I mean, hey, it's crazy how they all stop like that, right?
Funny.
It just looks nuts.
Dude, what the hell?
I mean, and know what's weird is like.
Wait, Seth was the only one pillar. He was like, "It's okay, guys. I'm holding straight. I'm holding."
So can I ask, how the fuck does that happen? Where one guy doesn't freeze and 3 guys do? Aren't they all under the same? They're all playing together.
They're all in the same setup.
Yeah, how does that make sense?
No
Hey,
sense.
Scump got to get a PC check stat.
Yo, Scump's internet wire is something different than his teammates.
You think this guy? I don't know. He got a task manager. Check the fucking task manager.
Was he actually moving or did
he was moving. I think.
No, he was moving. He was rotating.
Look, they're all frozen. Look, he's doing his thing.
Look at him. He's all in rotation, dude.
He's doing his thing. I don't know. I don't know.
He's like, yo, what do y'all have for me?
You can't hear any of them. You know what I'm saying? We got a new line. Oh, so maybe he's just on a different line or something. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but hopefully they get it fixed because that's twice now this has happened to them. Is this twice? It definitely happened before.
It's twice that I've seen.
Yeah, they might need to go play in their own like.
Scump said he's the only person on the other line.
Okay. I'm sure they'll get it. They'll get it all under control. I mean, thank God we're going back to LAN anyway, man. I'm so tired of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Between the
be a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, between people complaining about pings and servers and people freezing and timing out and fucking this, bada bing, bada boom, how you doing? I'm losing my fucking mind, guys. Sometimes I'm watching it and it's a vibe kill. You watch the minimap, you see them freeze, you're like, this is stupid, right? You at the end games, Optic, they're up 4-0 and S&E, they have a rhythm. You want to see them 6-0. This guy can't, he's stuck in his start menu and shit. But let's go into the listening with Optic Chicago and see how they sound.
Wait, one back up, one shot.
I'm hitting him. He's close, right side bus.
Behind car hill, Zap weak. One shot hill, Zap, absolutely.
I need him.
Outside rat,
Zap
one shot.
now, in rat.
I've rat. They're still spawning on guys.
Bus.
Donnie bus.
One shot.
Yeah, he's one bullet bus. I'm gonna go new. I'm going to go new.
Bus. Going into.
One more. Wood door scraps. Last guy.
Yo, Seth, when you spawn,
He's
fill
glass.
Eskies, alright?
He's going glass.
Seth,
He's
when
going
you heard?
glass. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
In
following
new right side.
to go.
And one glass.
No,
Right
ice
side,
one
right
street.
side.
Ice one street.
Glass.
Last together. He's not peeking me.
Last one, another time with me. Scraps. One shot time.
I need him.
Backside.
One shot time.
Laying down back right.
Nice.
Glass, absolutely.
Glass dead.
I'm
Nice.
close to
I'm getting
Yeah,
street.
yeah, perfect. Stay down hill. Do not overchill.
One Eskies.
I have a shot, Brandon.
Nothing street.
Just don't down hill. We're
Yeah,
good. We're
here.
perfect setup. Seth, I'm watching your deep tree. Seth.
You have deep street. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
watching my
deep
rat.
tree.
Eskies dead.
Nice shot.
Nice.
Bill.
Here he comes.
Another one Eskies.
All good. Where'd he go?
Holding.
One was
I have
glass.
deep tree. Still have deep tree.
He's holding their side Eskies.
One still got. Yo, deep tree really ran out. Seth,
I hear
turn.
it. I got him.
Nice.
Absolute.
Eskies on me, guys.
Yuli dead.
I have left side time. Yeah, right side time. Right side time.
Nice.
Down.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's
Nice.
Yo, push my ender.
Left. Scraps. I don't know where he went.
He's laying down. One shot. Backside hill. Nice.
Nice.
I'm gonna
Damn.
be Eskies. Gonna be Eskies.
Yo, glass.
Glass.
Pick up.
One
One
shot.
Yo, Eskies to hold. Two Eskies to hold.
Ice one
On the right window.
One shot.
I'm gonna spawn down. Run away.
Window dead.
Run away.
I am.
He could be front set. He could be Eskies.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a pitchman.
No, you
man.
can shoot.
It was really good small talk right there.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. This is the best
Yeah,
ones I've ever heard.
Keep listening.
I'm watching
Listen.
my mid.
I
I'll
don't
give you
see
deep tree. I'll give you deep tree.
Could be side
Deep
door.
street down. Planter's dead.
I'm looking. Yo, deep tree on the truck. Donnie, dead.
Nice.
Nice.
Last guy
Maybe-
side door.
Maybe one more.
Outside door.
Nice. Yo, get down.
Deep tree. You're like, oh my god. Go.
Shit, man.
I'll get down.
Where they spawn?
I'm holding.
I'm
I have
mid.
Right now, it's all mid. Stay on for front.
Yeah,
Two
I
mid.
am.
Okay,
Help me
P1. It can be P1.
Down
They
front,
can be
You have my front. You have my front.
Yeah, I do. Watch.
Keep watching my front.
Two mid window.
Okay,
Okay,
window,
actually,
look at
two
window.
mid window and one street.
I'm looking at window. Mid window, Donnie.
Donnie. Yeah. Oh, Seth. Yo, there's Seth.
Two mid window.
I'm getting him.
Yeah, two mid window. There's
Two mid window.
Grab time.
Yuli dead.
Grab time.
No, hold on.
Joe, I'll tell you what. Maybe.
Now,
That's how you communicate.
That was
yeah.
phenomenal.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't want it to end. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
perfect.
that was
just
actually
keep,
perfect.
I was like,
Nah,
just
that
keep
was
the
perfect.
listening going for the whole fucking map. Why not?
That
You know what I'm
was
saying?
perfect.
And look at the scoreboard too. I mean, you hear him kicking up in the comms, and you see it in the score as well. What's up, Ben? You were gonna better
I was
say
gonna say
something.
like they're great crowns from Optic, and they chain that P4, P1, and P2. I think on the flip side for Paris, we've seen them play this map a couple of times this week, and again the Street Hill has been really unkind to them. They've been getting these splits. They really struggled to get through bank and get busts, and that was kind of the start of this run. They weren't able to get rotation for P2, and it kind of just snowballs from here.
Yeah, it's a whole snowball effect. I mean, like Asim said, I mean, Optic just starts chaining it. I mean, they absolutely just fucking mop these guys through the second half of this game. Just to be completely honest with you. What's up, Ian?
No, I was gonna say if you just compare the two comms, I mean that's all you need to know. Like, I guarantee you, if the listening was with Paris, they were probably super frantic when stuff didn't, it wasn't going their way.
Oh yeah, probably.
And that's why Optic got back into the game.
Mhm.
I
No,
wanted to
100%.
pause here, Ben,
Okay.
because I think right here is an insane moment out of Scump. Not only because he's in time by himself holding it, but like Paris could easily hold the rest of this hill because they have the favorable spawns and they get 3 down. But what Scump does is like unreal. Like he's sitting home by himself. He realizes he needs to go and elbow him and stay alive. Not only does he get that 1 kill to like stall for his team, but he hits insane shots right here to kill you.
Yeah, that was
like,
really
bro,
Yeah,
people
watch
don't
out.
get that kill ever. The fact that Scump did that was actually unreal.
Yeah, that guy was on one today.
Definitely going to get a
honestly.
PC check.
Wait, I
Guy's
can't
not
believe they
freezing,
weren't
he's
watching
hitting
him.
shots
Like,
like that.
you don't see that happen a lot, and that's the reason why Optic got the rest of the scrap too, and why they maintained their lead.
Yeah, no, they were on a whole nother level today, and now honestly, we've been giving Optic a lot of gas, right? Like these guys have been getting a lot of gas, but I know the guys are in the chat right now. We just need to see them do it now, right? At the when you're playing those top teams, right? Those top 3 teams, and they can do it. I mean, just looking at the roster that they have. They could do it. They've played close games before. I mean, I'm looking mainly at FaZe, right? Because FaZe has been the one giving them most of the struggles. But those top 3 teams, you want to see them start putting away some of these teams, except for the New York Subliners. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying. It's like you hear it in their comms, you see it in their skill and their talent. They have what it takes. Now you just want to see them execute when it comes to the top of the top. And going back to LAN now, they're in their element, right? They're going back into their element. They're going back to where they feel comfortable. It's an even playing field, right? So there won't be any ping issues, no server issues, nothing.
They don't have to travel to this event either. I mean, they all live
traveling.
They already live in Dallas.
I
They
mean,
can basically
I'm
play from
excited for it. I'm excited for it. And on top
Yeah.
of that, I mean, I just love watching these guys play, and then everybody else. Like I love watching the league on LAN, just because it's just a different game.
Atmosphere, yeah. The
It's a different
is so
atmosphere.
much
It's a
better.
different game. I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it, and you got to give credit where credit is due. And Scump and the boys over at Optic Chicago showed out to play today. And again, with Paris, they were, they do their thing from time to time, but Not executing. And Ben, it is you echoing, by the way, because I hear you typing and
Fuck you
clicking.
clicking
and
on, Ben?
Ben,
God
what
damn.
I'm
doing,
not
man?
clicking on anything. I'm not typing.
I
All
seen you on the
right,
camera.
right,
You were
that's
clicking on
fugazi. That's
something
No,
fugazi.
I was watching
that
a
was
video.
fugazi.
I wasn't clicking.
Yeah, whatever you say, Ben.
Wait, Tommy, how
He's
was he gonna
lying.
say
He's
that,
fucking
Tom?
lying. I can't
Yeah,
stand this
I wasn't
fucking.
clacking on my keyboard.
Wait,
That's
you
what
were
I'm trying to
looking
say.
at your other monitor,
He was
clicking on
clicking.
your
Hey,
mouse.
chat, was that a cap or what? Was that a Ben
Wait,
cap?
Ben, it had to have been you. We all
heard my
heard it.
mouse click. That's actually wild.
Yeah, bro, I heard
I
you
don't know.
Yeah,
My
so
mouse
clicking.
is
then what were
not
you
loud.
clicking
And I
on,
heard
bro?
the video you were watching.
Yeah, now you gotta tell us what you
Ben
were,
was on
what
the
you were
hub.
clicking on. Because
Ben
first
was
of all,
on
you
the
said
hub.
you
I
weren't
was
clicking
watching a
on
Nate
that.
shot video, but go ahead.
Wow.
That's crazy. And guys, I understand that Haggy reached out to Mia Khalifa. My God, is that what you guys want to talk about? Jesus Christ! You guys see this shit?
It was
Haggy
the
fucking-
worst
respected
was
it.
the worst wingman attempt ever.
Yeah, it was
Literally trying to
respected
wingman him and then was
shot
trying to
straight
steal her.
Yeah, it was tough.
Right, I understand. But hey, good job to Optic, man. They came out and they won 3-1. Paris, I want to see them keep pumping and keep going. You know, I really feel for these guys because I do
Yeah,
like those guys over at that Paris squad. But at this point, right, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens with them moving forward.
They play Seattle. They only have one match next week. They play against Seattle, so that'll be really interesting. On the Optic side, I believe Optic, I know for a fact, plays on Sunday against Thieves. I'm not sure who they play earlier in the week. I think they play Seattle on Thursday. So Optic in a good position to go 4-1 this group with their only loss to FaZe. Great plays from Optic so far the last couple of weeks. They're looking really good going to LAN.
Yeah, they do. They do look really good. So I'm excited to watch them play and everybody else play on LAN, to be honest. I'm just excited to get back on that shit because, you know, online's a whole nother stress within itself. And you can see the look on Maddie's face right there, right? Just stressed out, man, just going through it. I mean, these players put in a lot of time. So when you're taking losses like that, it's very difficult. But speaking of losses, we got to talk about Seattle Surge going up against the Minnesota Rokkr. Yeah, not to call them out or anything, but I mean, it's just been so sloppy from these guys. I mean, we were doing the predictions yesterday, and you know, I even said I was like, hey, listen, I gotta go with Minnesota because Seattle's just not winning series, and it's just not looking good. Ben, I know you had some things that you wanted to say about this squad, and you know, I'll let you take the floor.
I mean, my kind of read on the Seattle situation right now is it's just they have not had a stretch of form where everybody in the team is playing really good COD. They had a period where Pristini and Gunless were their best players, and now they're in a period where Sam's playing well, and Pierce is playing well, but the sub players are not. They've just got to figure out how to get all four players frying. We've seen it with a team like London. You do it, you're going to win 3 or 4 series in a row against the mid to low pack teams.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're not going to always be favored against the top tier teams, but it's just been, man, like it's been an absolute struggle bus to control again. They get so close in that game mode, and they just make it so hard on themselves, and they throw away opportunities. They're just time's basically run out on them, I think, at this moment.
No, they're done. They're done.
Time ran out weeks ago.
Yeah. I think at this point, you know, it's over. You know, it's over for them. I think they just need to start working on themselves as individuals, as players. You know, finish the season out with pride, right? Don't finish the series out, or don't finish out the league just, you know, moping and doping. You know, keep practicing, keep focusing on your game, keep trying to improve as a person and as a player, and keep doing your fucking thing, right?
Hold on, can I address something I just saw in chat? I always see people blaming Joey, but they never bring that up with the Minnesota team that hasn't performed a high level. They never say, what about Brian Saint? The problems that Seattle have and the same problem for Minnesota is not on the coaching staff.
Yeah, it's not.
So I hate these when I always see this in
Wait,
chat. They should fire
Ben, you
Joey
haven't
to
even brought
sign
up the
that.
biggest example of them all. Everyone blames JCap for all of 100 Teams' struggles.
Yeah, people are really on Cap's fucking dick right now.
They hate Cap.
People do not like
'Cause
Cap.
When we think the coaches are thrown, we'll let you know on the show. We have a pretty good feel for what goes on in a lot of these teams, but I'm telling you, like a lot of these issues.
I've told them. I mean, people don't want to believe me. You know, people think I'm talking out of my ass. Listen, me, Ian, Asim, Ben's been working behind the scenes. We know how shit works, man. It's not like the coach just calls the fucking shots and then, you know, bada bing, bada boom. You know, Cap said this, so this is what we're doing. Hey, it comes down from the superstar players to the roster to the coaching staff to the owners to everybody has a say.
GM,
Everything's talked about. It's not like it's fucking just J-Cap making every little move with this roster, man. And it's like, listen, that's just how it is. If you guys don't want to believe me or don't trust anything I'm saying, then I don't know what to tell you because that's how it is.
On top of it, Tom, it's just the fans are ruthless, bro. People used to bitch and complain about it being a friendship league. Cap literally did the exact opposite. by
Well, they're
benching
never
Slasher,
happy. They're
benching
never
And no
happy.
other, I can guarantee you this, no other coach would have had the courage to do
Yeah,
what JCap did, and no other coach would have had the courage to bring in Draza and Venom, like
at all,
over
at
players
all.
like
And,
Slasher and
and,
stuff.
and then they want to blame him, and it's like, I get it that they're not getting the results that people expect, but like, they're at least, at the very least, the effort is there.
Yeah.
Like as a whole, like they are
Yeah.
trying to make moves to see what pieces work together.
They're never happy. It doesn't matter what you do. Make changes. Teams don't make changes. They make changes. You're making too many changes. This,
yeah.
that.
It's always like,
There's
it's
always something. If your team's not performing, you're gonna get hate one way or another. There's always gonna be problems. There's always gonna be hate somewhere or another. Listen, there's always hate. Always. I mean, even on the show, people are like, "Oh, you talk about golf too much." We talk about golf for 2 minutes in a fucking 2-hour show. You know what I'm saying? It was a top comment on one of my videos, and I'm like, dude, like, people are just never happy, man. There's always something that just be bitching about. It doesn't matter what it is in life. There will always be people for some reason that just always
Love to
want.
bitch,
They
Tom.
love to
bitch,
and they love to try and tear people down, and that's why at this point, being a professional and stuff, and JCap and everybody at 100 Thieves and everybody else in the league, right? You just gotta do the best you can to just fucking throw that shit away,
Yeah, block it out.
Block it out, throw it over your shoulder. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? I read these comments sometimes and I laugh. I say, look at this fucking asshole. Look at this fucking guy. This guy's lost. He's stupid. What are you gonna do? People like and even now, right? You see people dropping Lumas in the chat. I don't give a fuck. I don't care because that's how life is. People are always gonna try and be hateful and negative and stuff like that. But listen, I personally don't mind if people want to give their opinions though on things, right? I mean, if people want to hate and give their opinions, it's okay. But when you start seeing people taking personals or be disrespectful, then it's like, okay, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with people? And we saw the problem, right, with the Reddit post with Octane, right? A lot of people were talking about. You saw Clay tweet about it. You saw Hitch bringing in some opinions on that and shit with stuff like that. So it's like, listen, man, it is what it is. It's the lifestyle you live, especially when you're in the limelight, right? So. You gotta feel for capping those guys, but they're doing the best they can. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back into the series.
Yeah, I mean,
Standy's a fucking beast.
Yeah, he was frying.
Standy's a beast. Actually, good job of Seattle though, because they ended up closing this map out, right? They won this first map, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How's Dylan doing? 12 and 19. That's why he
Yeah,
left.
Dylan absolute really from map one.
He
Guy,
said he turned it up.
slug on the map. He's just fucking slugging along.
Standy, this kid can fucking play, man. This kid's good. Listen, I was sitting at the table with Vinny on Memorial Day. You guys know Vinny. He's been talking about Standy for years. He was talking about Standy 3 years ago, saying you got to pick up this kid. Even when he was 16, he's like, you got to pick him up. I said, Vinny, he's 16. I can't.
It's illegal.
He's like, listen, man, like, I'm telling you, like, this guy's up there with the best of the best. Like, he starts saying some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? He's like, Simpin' a Beezy and this Standy's on that level. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, you're out of your fucking mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. Until you start seeing some results, you can't put him up there. But the more I watch him play, he is a really good fucking player, bro.
Yeah.
He is a good player, and you can't take that away from the kid. But Ben, I noticed that you paused here. What's going on?
Yeah, you wanted to talk about this P2 spawn.
Yeah. There was just no blocking. They're all pushed up on a map. Minnesota absolutely trolled here. I mean, if they just hold and hold these spawns, they should be good to go. And look, they all push up. Nobody's blocking them back. You have a guy pushed up in new, and the rest of them are pushed at old.
Yeah, that is no bueno.
And it causes this back spawn, and it's just like, at this point in the game, this cannot happen. A lot of people in the fucking YouTube chat were like, fluke spawn. It's fluke. What the fuck was that spawn?
Yeah, that made perfect sense.
Listen, it made perfect sense. It's just you can't stay pushed up like that, especially with 2-3 seconds left and all.
Sam makes a play here too.
Block. Yeah, Scump or Scump. Octane makes a good fucking play here. He makes a play. He gets a kill. He jumps out. They almost fucking trolled. Listen, they get the kills, and Nicola went a little bit rogue. This fucking guy.
Nicholas went.
He went rogue. He went fucking rogue. I'm like, guys, just close it out here. You know.
Oh no.
You gotta win those. You gotta win those.
I mean,
that's
Standy,
the rule,
right?
That's the rule about this. The P2 Tom is like, if you're gonna chow front, you better fucking win it because.
And Ben, I want to give a huge shout out to Octane because you've been on his case a little bit throughout this year.
Sam was really impactful this series.
Yeah,
I think
did great.
He was a big catalyst in winning map one. And again, this is what they needed from him. If they can just get the rest of the team going with the way that he's playing right now, with the contribution that Pierce is having, like, they're going to be in a good spot to at least make a nice run here at the end of the season if they don't make it champs.
Yeah. No,
even though they lost, and they haven't been getting the results, I think having Nick on the team is helping Sam out tremendously.
No, I agree.
In what way you think?
So in my professional opinion, Sam's at his best when he doesn't have to be the one engaging until after he gets a kill, right? Until after he's like chaining kills together. And when they had Looney, when they had Decimate, those players were like route takers. You know what I mean? He didn't have a player, and like Pristini, to me, he has a very unorthodox play style. It's very hit or miss. But having someone like Nick that Sam can consistently watch over and get that kill,
Yeah,
like
like a
without
full-blown
having to
entry.
actually get into a gunfight. Yeah, like a full-on entry, man.
Yeah.
Even
No,
if
you're right.
Nick
I think
dies,
Looney and
Sam
Decimate
gets the
weren't.
kill.
Yeah, no, you're right. 100%.
It's just a good
Sam's just
chemistry.
Sam's just not. I don't want to say he's not good, but when he has to kind of be that guy to like not be the entry man with an AR, you know what I mean? But he doesn't have someone to really run in front of him consistently. It's a lot harder on him.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't miss, and he's really good at chaining those kills.
It's what you said
once he
about
gets it
Looney and
going.
Decimate. It's like those subs are not entrymen. They're route takers.
Yeah.
And like Sam flourishes when he has like a full blown entry in his team.
Yeah, no, for
For
sure.
sure.
And speaking of Pristini, right? You were saying that Ian, you were saying sometimes you feel like his play style is a little consistent. Ben, you were talking about Pristini a little bit today, and you said that's the problem too. It's like today he really struggled. He struggled a lot today.
He's been struggling a little bit as of late. The last couple of series, he hasn't had one of those like real winners like we saw throughout most of stage 2. I think again it comes back to they just need a little bit more consistency across the team. Look at the top teams like a FaZe or Toronto. Ultimately the slaying's pretty consistent, the damage is pretty consistent. With Seattle, you graft that out and it's all over the place. So
Yeah.
I think that's a core goal they should try and achieve. Like put all the qualifying for champ stuff to the side. Like just try to be more consistent as a team and see what you can do.
Listen, I think Seattle, like I said, just need to keep working on their game. But I also want to give some love to Minnesota. I still think Minnesota has a little bit of work to do when I watch them play. I still feel like, something's just not right. Like, I feel like they have a lot of talent, but it's just like, am I crazy to say this? Do I sound like an asshole?
You're not crazy because
No,
the
you're
two
not.
teams they beat this week are Paris and Seattle. So it's not like they're out here getting signature wins against top teams. They're two teams that are at the bottom.
Which I think
And
their
they-
talent is the reason why they're just beating these teams. They're just like they just have the talent, So it's just like.
I mean, this is just average COD. We're watching two, like, I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. I'm just going to be blunt. Like, that spawn that you saw on the last map, for example,
Won't happen
on
with a top
Minnesota.
team.
Yeah, like, this is just very average COD between two average teams at the moment. Like, that's how I look at it. And I don't want to be all get off my lawn retired guy, but I think it's true. I mean, I think you see it.
Hey,
No,
you've
it's
been
fair.
up there, Ian, as one of the best, at times of your career, right? And you've won events, so you know what it takes to win. And people like Attach, right? And Prieston and some of these guys who have won, and Mike, all these guys, there's no way they're not going back and watching and thinking the same thing. Any smart, talented, good player will say the same thing. They like, it's just you just got to call it how you see it sometimes. But listen, Seattle, they come out win the first map. I think Minnesota, they have a good bounce back. I like the way they put a lot of pressure on that B-bomb site and get it down really quick a couple rounds, and they really force the play on offense. And they were able to take the second map, the S&D, and tie it up at 1. Thank God, because if you're going down 0-2, then I think that's a huge problem for Minnesota. You definitely don't want to see them come out and lose against Seattle because they shouldn't be losing to this team. Let's just be honest. They shouldn't. Not with the talent that they have, not with the roster, and especially not with how Seattle's been playing. But it was a good series for Minnesota to bounce back after map number 1. And, Dylan said he struggled first map, but he definitely caked up as the series went on. And, kudos to Minnesota for coming out and, keeping composure and closing out this series.
I mean, they're beating the teams they got to beat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean, they
True.
are.
next week, they're going to play against FaZe and Thief. So I think we'll have a pretty good marker of
that's
where
a
they're
tough
at next
week for sure,
And
yeah.
it's those two matches in
Mano.
order. So we'll say they're probably not likely to beat FaZe. So that Thieves match is going to be a must win for both teams, basically. So we're going to find out a lot about where this Minnesota team is at following last week where they, had a real stinker against Optic.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably just skip to the next map. I mean, there's really not much
Okay.
lost. Unless there's something you want to talk about. I don't know.
No,
if there's
not really. S&D kind of just played pretty standard.
I thought, personally, to me, I didn't think there was much to talk about in this series, at least compared to the other ones. And I'm also very excited to talk about tomorrow's matches because I'm all excited about that. But the control, again, Minnesota, they did their thing in the control, right? They worked the kills. Standy was being a menace again. He's just so annoying to play against. He gets pushed up into good positions. You get kills. He works some stacks, and, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go.
Tommy, I feel like every time I watch Minnesota on Garrison Control, Standy goes off. I think it's his playstyle, the way
He's good on this map.
He loves. I think he's really good at finessing Vant, Trench, and like the mid tanks area.
He has a really good feel for it.
Yeah, he always knows when to flank because I think Garrison Control is all about like leaving your team in a 3v4 and like pinching at the right time to where they don't die. Because especially in the mid map, like there's Trench, mid tanks, the two mid lanes of middle, and then there's Vent.
Yep.
So it's like there's a lot of areas. Even Top Cat, you see submachine guns always gun down Top Cat, and like they'll cat someone in like on the B point because like no one expects you to run down like the catwalk stairs. So it's like
he's just raw, man. He has good awareness. He has a really good shot. I mean, he's just a young, raw, talented. I mean, this is why they picked him up. I mean, this is why a lot of teams always go the route of picking up young players. We were talking about it on the show yesterday, and you know how a lot of these veteran players are sitting on the sidelines, and it's like, a lot of teams these days don't even go out and try and get some of these veteran players. They start going out and giving the minimum to some of these young guys because you see the potential and you see the raw talent that they have, and you see what guys like Standy and Afro and Paul X and some of these others, there's a whole bunch of them, right? The list goes on, and kind of what they can do to a team and kind of how they can turn this team around. Hydra, right, is another one. So it's like one of those things where it's like, you come to that point where it's like, do you go out and get a veteran player who's experienced? Like, what do you want? What does your team need? Does your team need young talent or does your team need experience? It comes down to a lot of intangibles. So just a great pickup out of Minnesota, honestly. I'm actually surprised they went with Minnesota because I know a lot of the pros were not a fan of Standy. Especially in MW, I was a fan of Standy, and every time I talked to professional players about Standy, they were not a fan. They personally did not think...
Tom, what have we talked about before with pro players? They're really going to play in the game, but sometimes the talent evaluation is not there. You and I have talked about a conversation I had with some pro players.
I think that might be a little bit of an egotistical thing, an arrogance
thing.
Was there a reason why they didn't?
They thought he was an idiot. They thought he was an idiot, just like how I was an idiot.
Because Tommy got the same thing. People roasted Priesta. The reason we were able to pick up Priesta in World War II is because his ex-teammates soiled his name. The same thing happened to Dashi after his
Priesta was the biggest example, and so was Dashi.
And there were people, Tom, after that first year, after the first couple events in Black Ops 4, that thought that Celium wasn't very good.
Oh yeah, that was another crazy one.
I mean, those pro players anonymous. Like we want to expose, but
I picked up Celium and I got roasted. Whenever I joined the TeamSpeak late night, people be like, "Dude, like that kid sucks. Like that kid actually sucks." I'd be like, "What are you talking about? This kid's nasty." You're like, "Nah, you may. I don't know what the fuck you're doing." Every single time. Bro, there'll be times where I beat people call me stupid, and I'll beat them the next week at an event. I drop fucking 40 on their head and smoke them, and then I join the TeamSpeak and I hear them calling me stupid again. And I'm like, it just never ends. Like the whole stigma never ends, right? Some players are stupid. Some players are slow. Some players are, baiters and this and that. The list goes on. Everybody always has those stigmas. And I think that was just the problem with Standy is people just thought he was an airhead. But I personally disagree. When I see somebody who has good awareness around the map and has talent, you can teach him the little things about COD that makes you a great Call of Duty player. But when you have certain intangibles, like, that he can play at the highest level, right? Like he has the awareness, he has the talent. Like he's just a good player to have on your team. And I was happy when Minnesota picked him up because he was a player that I've been looking at for a while. And to see Minnesota, take that risk and go pick him up, it was a good play. Kudos to them.
I mean, there was a real need. I mean, that team was playing with zero pace. They needed someone who had some non-metal boots, and they brought him in. And yeah, I mean, the results still haven't been amazing by their standards, but I think they're a lot more competitive if you talk to them in these series now.
I mean, Standy's their best player, and it's not even close.
I think that translates to results against top teams. We'll have to see. I think this major for them is going to be a real make or break on it.
Yeah. What's up, Ian?
I just want to add on to what you were talking about, Tom. I think that's one of Clay's greatest strengths. It's like, even if Standy, say, was a little bit of an airhead, right? Maybe not been all there, or didn't look at COD the right way.
Which is common from a younger player.
Yeah. I mean, not only is he young, but also he's never been in a position, right? Because a lot of the amateur scene is like that.
Yeah.
Like for the players that I guess were roasting Standy or didn't think he was good, it's like, you have to, if you don't believe that you can coach the kid and teach him like, yo, this guy's got potential. He might be a little bit of a bonehead, but I can teach if he's willing to be teachable. I can teach him the game, and he can be great, right? And I think
Right.
that's what Clay does a lot. And you've seen the success he's had, but it's like I don't get that. Like, because yeah, he probably was a little dumb, to be honest with you.
Of course,
because he didn't get the
yeah.
reps.
I mean,
but
listen, I agree with you. Of course, he's probably making dumb mistakes. That's the whole point. It's the whole reason why he's still growing. He's still in the growing process. It's not about picking up a player who's good already. It's about picking up a player who has potential. I mean, that's what you look at. You look at the potential, which is why it's like, some of these pro players over the years, they don't see that. Like, they don't see potential in people. They just see, they don't look at the game the right way. They just look at what they're doing around the map, look at the stats, and be like, oh, this kid sucks. And when you don't watch the kid play, you don't understand, like, wow, this guy actually has good awareness. This kid actually knows what he's doing. He has a good shot. He's very impactful. He's annoying. He's a nuisance. Like, stuff like that, it goes a long way. It goes a really long way. And that's something I always looked at throughout my career when we were always picking up players. It's just, a lot of the moves that we made over on FaZe, a lot of people used to roast us, and granted, right, I think we could have won more on FaZe, and we didn't get many wins. Like, we won in World War II and AW, and listen, people can say whatever they want, but the players that we picked up definitely were not the reason why a lot of that stuff was happening. I think between Priesta, Celium, Asim, Mac, a lot of these young guys,
Scraps and Zero.
A lot of these guys, right? They came out and they showed out and really proved why they're a top player, right? And it's been really exciting to watch all these guys play. So we ended up going into a checkmate hard point, and this is kind of where Minnesota just closed it out. Things got a little bit mixy again, Ben. Very back and forth this map.
Yeah, this is a close match, and then ultimately Minnesota. We've talked about this time and time again, I swear, with this map.
Big P on a 12.
You get the Pierce obviously goes off in the middle of this map.
Streak?
I'll go back a little bit because
he was frying.
He almost relapses streaks in this situation, and they actually
in this scenario, like you're supposed to use your. Well, I think if he uses his cruise, like just to secure the break, and then he gets 2 more kills, I'm pretty sure he overlaps it with ease. I just think his artillery's in a cooldown because he just used it. And that cooldown takes like a long minute. But like, I'm curious to see like Tom, even you, like whenever you're close to relapping your streaks, like do you guys use it in the heat of the moment just so that you're confident enough to like get it like back?
Maybe.
I think it's situational.
Situational.
All right, like this is a perfect situation though. It's like
where he's safe and he can use it.
Yeah, he's safe. He can use it, and he can be confident in himself to get 2 more, 3 more kills to get his stuff back. It's like
but then it's like you could potentially also take that risk, right, of wasting it. You can,
that's facts.
Saying? It's he could call it. It's very hard to get kills on this map regardless with a streak.
That's what I was gonna say.
And on the thing, like streaks are not as impactful as.
That's true. The map is not good.
And it's like the map just doesn't work for the streaks. So it's like he could call it, not get a kill with it, and then run out and die. And now boom, you just wasted a streak. You don't have anything now. So I think if it's in a situation where the streak will benefit you, use it. If it benefits you, then use the streak. If it doesn't, then hold on to it. Even if you're about to overlap, don't risk it because it's just too much of a risk to take. And
to
then
be honest,
end up using it.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about it before, Cyrus. But I think it just goes also back to pro players not really like being that good with their streaks. Like they either call it instantly when they get it, you know what I'm saying, or they hold on to it because they don't want to waste it. It's like there's players that are not good with them, and there's players that are really good.
This was a weird situation here. Going back to the map, Classic got the weirdest timing. I don't know if he just didn't get the sound cue of they hopping up a top red, but if he had shot in the back, this would have been really clean. Instead, they use a streak and they invested. And they don't really they get the tail end of this hill, but as we've talked about time and time again. In this situation, like you really need to get your P1 time because you can get put in the mega spawn trap, and guess what happens to Seattle in this situation?
Oh, they got pinned to the max. Minnesota do a great job holding those spawns.
This was so tough to see.
You have a Tatch who pushes all the way on the right side of that map through that plane. He gets them pushed all the way back into back radio. I'm not sure who from Minnesota was holding, but he wasn't shooting at anybody. He wasn't doing anything crazy. He was literally just backing up, staring at a wall, making sure nobody is spawning there.
Ben, to pause it right here, I think a huge part of why they get trapped is because you know how Haggy always he had that little Twitter conversation with Cap and someone else about purposely spawning out.
Yeah.
I think this is a good example where Pristini makes someone spawns out, and based on Gunless's arrow, it doesn't look like Pristini calmed it. So it's like with Gunless spawning back radio, he doesn't know that Preston is spawning or is pushed up that far just because your mini map is so small you can't really see where your teammates' arrows are.
Mhm.
But if Preston's pushed up like truck here, he needs to be saying when it's spawning back tower. And like with yeah, like look, you can tell with Gunless's arrow, he had no idea somebody spawned out, and that sets it up so that Minnesota has like the perfect setup
Yeah, the
going into
rest of his
P1.
team lose their individuals, and now
Yeah,
they're
look,
just in that deep
perfect
P5
setup.
wood spawn.
And
That's
look
a great play.
And look at what Mike does. Look at what Major Mania. He turns around and goes all the way back. He turns all the way around, goes all the way back, and makes sure that nobody can spawn behind him. Now, granted, somebody does spawning behind him because he pushes up. He ends up pushing up, and I think somebody does spawn behind him if I remember correctly. And look, you see the standee right doing it now. Mike pushes up. He tells somebody to hold.
Yeah.
Dylan also went rogue. He pushed
Yeah, he's
really
going
deep.
rogue right now.
He pushed really fucking deep. So I think that's what also, kind of forced it here. I think if Dylan stayed by the plane, I don't think that would have happened. But they end up getting the flip some. But even regardless, they're spawning so deep. Like, Minnesota is soaking up so much time while all this is going down. And I think this team effort out of Minnesota was allowed them to close out this map. It was just a good heads-up play out of them to set this up.
I think one thing, and we didn't really give him a lot of gas, but he made a couple of plays in the first map. I think Major Maniac's been playing pretty good since he came on the team. Right now, it seems like that was the right move. It obviously sucks for someone like Lamar and K. Accuracy, who's been a long-time vet and definitely brings a lot of intangibles. But it seems like they're playing with a little bit more pace and executing the system they want. Again, next week we'll see kind of how they do when they stack up against the better teams in their group.
Yep, they're going to have to do it against the top teams now. They come out today, they beat a team like Seattle, but, in order to beat the best, Ben, you gotta beat the best. You know what I'm saying? So, that's something
I thought that was a key for me to come in the middle.
Dude,
there,
you were
but-
stuttering.
I was ready to say it. I thought you were going to give them.
I thought you were going to say it with me, Ben. I thought we were going to do it together.
I thought you were just going to stop, but it's all good.
But yeah, Minnesota, they come out, they do their thing. My heart goes out to Seattle because you see the frustrations on their face after every single match, and it's just like they can't get anything going. And you got to feel for those guys. But as long as they keep their head up, it keep grinding, keep pushing. Now you got to think about the future. But, we got some good matches coming tomorrow, guys. I think this is the best set of matches all weekend.
Give me a second to find the cards so we can do the
No,
predictions
you're
here.
good, Ben. Fast forward, find the cards, and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But we'll make sure Ben hits a putt. But let's go through some predictions here as Ben tries to find this card. But Asim, obviously, you play tomorrow, right? You're playing against Dallas tomorrow. How you feeling going into that match?
I'm just hoping that today was really hard for Hydra too. So hopefully he wakes
Still
up tomorrow
sick?
and feels better. Yeah.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what is it like? Has he? Hopefully, hope to God it's not this, but did he get tested for COVID or
No,
what?
I think he just has a headache and a stomach ache too.
Oh, like a stomach bug or something?
I think it might be food poisoning. I don't know. Hopefully.
That's
Yeah,
the
he looked
worst.
rough. He looked
Yeah.
like it was hard for him to play the last match.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
a lot
was
of people
out
in
of
chat
it.
were saying Temp was sick too, and I think Temp is in the same building as Paco.
Oh, shit.
That's
You
not
gotta look
good.
into the water. You gotta look into the
Yeah,
water.
water, bro. UMG Philly. I'll
Yep.
never forget that event.
Yep.
First event,
My
there's something
God,
in the
this
water.
shit was brown.
Everybody was getting sick, bro. That's disgusting.
Said this is the new shit. Drink it.
Everybody was getting fucking sick. But let's kick things off. We got Florida Mutineers versus LAG, Los Angeles Guerrillas. Let's try and speed run through these predictions, man. I'm going with the Mutineers, man. Those guys are hitting form.
They
I'm going
look
3-1.
really good.
They
I'm
look
going
good.
Florida 3-0.
Yep.
Florida 3-0.
I'm gonna spot LAG a map.
Okay.
But
you're drunk.
I gotta give. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's fair with the way LAG is playing in S&D. I want to spot them the second map here, but I agree. Florida's on a different level than we've seen most of the season. I think they go ahead and they close this one out.
Yep. Then we go into Atlanta FaZe versus LA Thieves, the T-Mobile 5G weekly drop.
Oh, God.
I'm going FaZe 3-0. I think they're gonna come out and wipe them.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
think it's gonna be
gotta go
over.
with Tom. The last time these two teams played, it was not pretty.
Hey, that was a long time ago, man. it was a
I think
completely
FaZe
different
is
team.
playing good COD right
Nah.
now. I just with these still got some work to do, and I don't think these are
TJ did say I'm not going on that shit show, so now 3-0.
Oh, okay.
They got-
No way.
He didn't say
cursed?
that. He said I ain't going on that shit. That's what he said.
The same shit then.
You know, it's not the same shit, Tommy.
He didn't mean it like that,
Tommy, you
no.
know, between those two sentences, that is not the same shit.
It's
Dude. Come on,
very
man.
I
emotional
like it.
guy.
Hey, Tom, create drama, baby.
I'm a
Entertainment.
hey,
Wait,
hey,
that's your
Ian,
T
you know,
squared,
Ian,
man.
you know me. I take shit to the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
To the
that's-
heart. Hey,
yeah.
we'll
Wait,
tell him
Tommy,
about
but
how
that's
you
T
drop
squared, though.
Slasher
That's
and
your-
Uke
that's
on
your
their
No,
neck.
it's my
duo.
fucking guy. It's my guy, but he's getting 3-0 tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I'm gonna go with phase 3, yo. Yeah.
Ian?
Yeah, it's I can't even be delusional. It's probably gonna be 3-0 phase. They're just too strong. I mean,
What are you gonna
Come
do?
on,
They're
what
too
am I
good.
going? I can't even. LAT hasn't given me anything to where I could like slip them. Maybe a 3-2. You know what I'm saying? No, I think 3-0, 3-1 probably. To be honest.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, listen, I think these are a good team, but I just think FaZe are on another tier of their own right now. So we'll
Yeah,
see
best team
how
in
it
the game.
plays out. And then we go into the New York Subliners going up against Dallas Empire. I'm gonna be biased, right? I'm gonna say 3-1. I can see Dallas taking a map, but I think New York is gonna come out and do what they do.
Listen, you know what
I
happens
think
when
that's
I predict
biased.
my games? I always say
Yeah,
3-0.
you're just gonna
New
say
York
3-0, right?
Yeah,
You gotta
New
be
York 3-0.
confident in yourself. But Ian and Ben, I'm
Facts.
curious, and be honest. What do you guys think is gonna happen tomorrow?
Ian, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I
Yeah,
think
take this back.
honestly, I think this is going to be another 3-0 for NYSL. Empire hasn't looked good to me with Vivid. Vivid looks really off, like really uncomfortable, almost. I said it the other day, Tom, and I kind of want your guys' takes. I think you'll agree with me. I feel like Vivid was on that LAG team, right? And in his head, he thought that he had to do it all. You know what I'm saying? And so when he joined Empire, he like is still playing like that when he just needs to do his role. And then on the flip side, there's times where he seems like he's playing too scared because he doesn't want to make a mistake from trying to do too much. And so he just looks really uncomfortable. And NYSL is the top team in the game.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I actually told him, because I spoke with Reese, because I actually was talking to him, and he knows, right? Like, he was like, Tommy, like, you've always said good things about me. Like, if you're in a slump, right? Like, what is something that really helped you to get through a slump? And I was texting him a little bit, and I was like, listen, man, like, when I'm watching you play, on LAG, I felt like you had the confidence knowing you were the best player on the team, right?
Like he's the superstar.
Yeah, like you're the superstar. You're playing with confidence. You know that you can make certain plays. You're trusting your gut. Like, you're not double guessing anything. I said right now, it looks like you're hesitating. It looks like you're double guessing things. You don't want to make a mistake. You're being put on a team like Dallas. You got fucking Porter smoking Camels, yelling in your fucking ear.
Guys
But at the end of the
telling you
day,
not fucking
I
rotated.
told him at the end of the day, stay true to yourself and who you are as a player, and make sure that you're just playing your game. And make sure you take in all the input that your fellow teammates are giving you, but don't ever shy away from giving your own input and trying to help this roster out and trying to play your own game.
Who are we talking about?
Because they picked him up for a reason.
About
Reese.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They picked him up because he was a good player. So at the end of the day, play your game and do what you do, and let Dallas figure out how to play around you and everybody else. Shotzi, and just do your thing, play your game. And listen to your teammates, right? But at the same time, try and keep that confidence level up. And I told him, just make sure you keep getting reps in with the team. Make sure you're watching your film, and you'll see things like this for yourself, right? So just make sure that you're watching back some of these games and picking up on a lot of things. And with the more reps they get, I hope that Dallas can come out and play tomorrow and show what they're capable of, because I do think they have a good roster.
Yeah, so I know when these two teams have played, and they haven't played in a minute, I think Dallas is 2-0, but I think a lot has changed since then, and I really don't for Dallas like the set of maps that they're probably going to get in the respawns in this series. I think their biggest opportunities for Dallas is going to come in games 2 and 3. I think if they can get a favorable S&D map, and New York's weakest mode is control, if Dallas can take advantage of those two maps, they can make this an interesting series. That being said, though, I have a feeling that New York's going to close this out in 4. So I got
We haven't
Subliners
played them
3-1.
since stage 1, right?
Stage 2 major.
It's been a minute.
True.
Dude,
that was
I
a
don't
1-1.
like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So long ago.
I do not like that.
Well, how
Just
else
the
would
format.
you? How else? I don't. Here's my thing with the format, Ian. I think the format is good. The only tweak that I would make, like in order to make this format a lot better, would be to do a double round robin instead of single round robin in each stage.
No,
At the end of the day, like I like the way the draws work. Like there's a lot of strategy involved with this format. I just think they need it's tough because they have to balance a lot of different needs, right? There's competitive needs, there's business needs. Like from a publisher side, there's probably like a broadcast hours that they're trying to hit. So there's like that's factoring into the format. But like from like my POV, if there was like another 5 matches for each team, like for each stage, I think that would help the teams. But
I mean,
something to look at.
Strictly online.
Yeah.
Like talking about strictly online, no LAN league or whatever, because that's how it's been. I like the draw, Ben. I do. I think it should be a double round robin. But I also think every team in each group should play the other group's teams once. And I know it'd be impossible because then you have to pay the casters and pay, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot more money going into it. Strictly talking competitively though, like you would just get so many good matches. I feel like we don't get to see a lot, you know, and you lose a lot of storylines and like.
No, I feel like that was last year. This year, it's like you have that opportunity to show up at the major and play everyone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'm
Because
just
the
talking about
best
the
of the best
league.
always comes out in the major. Like I know Donnie said the other day or like the other week, and I kind of didn't agree. He said like it's very easy to get top 4 at the major. I completely disagree. I think
we went
there's
back and
only been
looked.
5 teams
Yeah.
in all 3 majors that have made the top 4. It's
Yeah.
very hard to make the top 4, and that's how you see like the major gets so exciting because like throughout the tournament, like you actually see the best teams
hey,
come
man,
out.
we got pro players saying games are coin flips.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
no, I
that's
agree. I
facts.
You know
agree
what
with
I'm
you.
saying?
After I just said
I'm
that
not
2
saying.
underdogs have won
Can we
matches
shut
in the
that down
stage.
now? Can we finally
Yeah.
shut down that whole
2
fucking
and
coin
15
flip
for
shit?
underdogs so far in the
Give
stage.
me a
but go
fucking
ahead.
break with that shit.
This isn't the format now. I'm not saying it causes flukes or anything like that. Because you're right. Like the major, you see the best teams. I just, as a fan of competitive Call of Duty, I want to see more matches. You know, and it's like you said, the last time you played Empire was stage 1. You know, like
Yeah.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And not saying it's a fluke either, but like you guys versus FaZe, for example, right? When you play them in the regular season, I know it probably doesn't matter that much, but sometimes it does. Like getting the first seed, you play them one time, you win a round 11, game 5. Like I want to see another matchup. I want to see
Oh
two
yeah,
to
I feel
see
like that'd be dope.
to see if you go 2-0 or some more, if they can split the series. Like that's what I want.
Here's my solve. I thought that Adam Apicella, this is like a few months ago, had a really good tweet, which is from his POV, and I agree with his POV that the season should start earlier. That end of January, early February is too late, and they should be starting matches right when the game comes out. Give it a few weeks for teams to figure out the maps and modes, or maybe do that when the gold build is set and teams can fly in and figure that out. But like they should be playing matches like around Thanksgiving and then playing through Christmas and make the season 2 months longer. That would give you room to play more of those matches.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think just shifting that probably helps a lot.
I do agree with that, Ben. Like the winter, it's like kind of a waste of time to play. Like it's not a waste of time to play, but it's like that preseason. It's so long.
It's so long. It's
compared
like 3
to when
months,
you get
man.
the game. Like
Yeah.
like Tommy, like when we were like playing in like the New York roster, like
Yep.
like in the beginning of the game, like it was half like playing pubs, having fun, and it was half like, hey, we should try Cartel. Hey, we should try this
Yeah.
map. And
It's
it's
very
like 3
boring.
months long, and you're like, dude, like when is the season gonna start? Like when is the drive gonna come into where everyone wants to come and practice and like actually give it their all?
Mm-hmm. No, 100%.
Here's what I think they should do.
I agree with you
think
guys.
you do like a good set of preseason matches. Then you do some kind of like pool play major to start before the first stage, and then you get into it. And then the tournament seeds the stage, or you use last year's results to seed. So
I
like,
like that.
you
I like
play a
that.
meaningful like tournament to start the season. Like there are a lot of ways they can do this and not kill it with too many matches in October, November, December. But like we've seen historically that those tournaments in November and December do really well. The highest viewership we ever had as an esport was an event they ran first week of December, AW Columbus Open.
Yep. And I
So,
agree with somebody
that's
said in the chat,
true.
the off season is just way too long. It's
Way
long.
too
The
long,
off season, bro. I feel like the off season when I was a competitor, when I was competing, sometimes the off season just felt like like I was like, damn, I'm on vacation for a long time.
It was cool for a week, right?
And then
you're
you
like,
get
yo.
the itch. You get the itch. You're like,
Yep.
dude, I'm bored. Like, we got to get back into this shit. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Competition, man.
And it's like, wouldn't the league want that too? Like, why wouldn't they want more COD, more weekends, more reps? Like, it's just like, I'm hoping that we see some changes with the schedule going into next year. I really do. We'll see.
That's one last thing I just want to add, Ben, because you made me realize it. That's the other thing is like right now in the season, there's so many meaningless matches. Like, I hate to break it to you. I know as a competitor, all the guys that aren't in the top 8 still think they got a chance. It's chalked,
No,
and like,
yeah,
and with how the groups are drawn, like NYSL, you're only really playing against one other top team. So if you had some sort of format where, NYSL could play to, I don't even know who's not in your group, but like the other top 2 teams in the other group, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You get more entertaining matches.
Yeah.
Right now, half of the matches I watch, when there's 2-3 a day, I'm like, I don't even care who wins. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it literally doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah, and you have Scump in the chat saying it too, right? A month after release is when it should all start going out. I mean,
there's
we'll
a way to
see.
do
We'll
it and make those matches mean something, but not have too much of a bearing on the season, because we know like early season results can be a little bit fluky. People need a while to figure out the game, but like you can play some meaningful stuff if it's for charity or you build it around the holiday season. Like I'm sure there's some format, but activating early, I think, would make everybody happy.
Yep. So we'll see what happens, man. Going into next year, we'll see what happens with the schedule. But guys, please drop any questions that you want answered in the chat. We'll do the best we can to pick out one or two of them, and answer the best ones in the chat. And we'll have Ben hit a putt today. I'm feeling pretty good. I felt like the vibes in the show today were very positive, so I feel like Ben's gonna sink it today.
Let's go, Ben. Come on.
We'll see. But any questions you guys have, we'll do the best we can to answer them. Somebody said, can we get an Asim appreciation speech off the cup? I think he deserves it after the year he's had. I mean, hey, I give Asim so much fucking gas every day. You know, what more can I say about Asim, man? He's a good teammate. He's a good person. He's a great player. And one of the best things, one of the most important things about being a Call of Duty player is being unselfish, and I think Asim has that. And that's what makes him, one of my favorites. Not only to watch play.
Talk that, Tom. Talk that.
Not only to watch play, but just to play alongside him. It was just like, when I played alongside him is when it really hit me. Like, I love playing with this kid. Like, he's a good player to have on your team. And that was the reason why I really fought for this guy in the offseason. And I'm glad to see him doing his fucking thing because it makes me look a lot better. So thank you, Asim. I appreciate you, man. You're a fucking beast, and keep doing what you're doing, man. You know what
Listen,
I'm saying?
man, I don't know how many times I gotta say it, man. I'm only in this position because of you, dude. So
I appreciate it. It means a lot when you
I
say
was
that,
playing sub-8s, Tom.
Yeah, he's playing sub-8s. You know, he's playing sub-8s.
Oh, my God.
Bro,
He's
I'll
really
never
out the
forget.
mud.
You know what's funny? I'll never
Out the
forget
Toronto
when I
mud.
went to RJ, because RJ was the coach of our FaZe team at the time. And I said, yo, let's get Asim. And RJ's like, Asim? And I was like, yeah, let's get Asim. And RJ's like, I mean, like, fuck it. I mean, I'm down. You know? I was like, like everybody just had the first like reaction to it. Like they giggled. They were like, Asim? Like, because it was like very unheard of to pick somebody up from a fucking sub-8 tournament.
Yeah, dude. I had no competition
Like-
background. At all. I had zero competition background.
And like, I
didn't
really
compete.
didn't care.
I didn't go to events.
Yeah, I didn't really
I didn't
care.
play 2Ks. I didn't do none of that. That's why it was like a joke.
Yep, I really didn't
Wait,
care.
see, but I'm curious. Did you like want to compete, or were you just playing in those sub-8s for fun?
So
and
like
you
it
were just
starts
like
off in
that
Black
much
Ops
better,
3, right? In Black Ops 3, I finally became an age where like I
You
could
could compete.
understand how to like play like Call of Duty at a competitive level, and like I was just an absolute nobody. So at like one Sunday morning, Ian, I was up at like 10 in the morning. Okay, it's Sunday. Nobody's awake. Nobody's gaming. Nobody's playing Call of Duty. I go to Twitch to see like who's streaming, and I see Crowder or Replays at the time was streaming a subscriber tournament, right? And I'm like, sick. Like I want to play Call of Duty right now. So like I play the tournament. I think I won it with some random guy, and then every weekend I kept coming back on Sunday mornings to play. And then Chris saw that I was pretty good, and then when I got into the circle, like it was like I think at the time it was Dylan, Preston, Crowder, and Tommy that was on the FaZe Clan team, and like I was just a friend, but like I always did want to play. I just never got my foot in the door in playing like variant, so I would just play like TeamSpeak 8s with them, or just shoot around in free for alls,
that's
or
so crazy.
like-
That's a motivational
Crazy,
story.
bro. It's crazy.
no, yeah, and I would, and dude, the funny story is the year before I became on a professional team, I played Fortnite like 300 days in a row. Like I didn't play Call of Duty whatsoever in World War II. Like I just strictly played Fortnite. But then yeah, like I think going into Black Ops 4, like I did ask Chris and Nick, I was like, hey, what do you guys think? Like you guys think like I can go to university for engineering? Like do you think I have a shot? Like realistically, I told them like real shit. Like just give me a yes or no answer. You think I can give it a year to like go and compete and try? And they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I think you have the talent to. So then that's really how it stemmed. And then it obviously like the big opportunity was that Tommy actually got me on the FaZe Pro team.
Yep,
But yeah.
for sure. And it's been an absolute blast having like seeing you play, bro, and seeing you grow as a player. I mean, bro, you improve every year. You know, you learn, you get a lot of things that you learn as you go on. As you keep playing through your career, you'll continue to learn about the game, and you'll get better and better as time goes on. So it's been an absolute pleasure, Asim.
Yeah, I appreciate it,
to
man.
watch you play and to fry people in the streets of GTA.
That
But listen, Bill, let's try and answer some other questions so Asim doesn't get too much gas. You know, we want to make sure this guy stays humble. Let's fucking answer some other questions.
Yeah, I might start ego challenge tomorrow, guys. We need to calm it down.
Imagine, bro, you start going rogue.
I start sliding off catwalk. Like,
Yeah, just going nuts and shit. I mean, you do go rogue a lot, but I love it. Fucking a lot of people are asking about Optic and kind of like I don't know. There's just a lot of questions coming in about Optic. But Ben, I'll let you grab a question in the chat if you want to grab one. Go ahead. And there's a lot of them coming in.
I saw a question earlier that someone's saying, is there a deficit of sub players in the league? Like there always is. It's like probably the hardest position to play in the league. So
It's definitely
especially
the
in an
hardest.
entry, like there's only so many players in the league that can play like the level of like a championship contending team. So I definitely agree with that.
I think it's getting smaller and smaller though, Ben.
Yeah.
I feel like over the years it was huge, like the deficit between the submachine guns, but it's getting smaller and smaller.
The last 2 years, I agree. Like heading into franchising, it was looking pretty slow. I think that's why, like a lot of the team situations that weren't advantageous happened because there was just a lack of real sub players, and there was also no depth of sub players on a lot of the benches in those sub positions.
Somebody said, "Where is Patty P?" I don't know what Aches does. What does he do? what does he do?
No clue.
He
That guy's
tried
probably in the
competing in
Bahamas.
challenges for a very long time,
But I don't
know what he does now.
understand. Like I don't understand. Like he's just chilling. Like he's legit just chilling. Like he's not like what is he doing? He doesn't stream. I don't think
know.
does he have a job? You know.
I see him
J.
tweet about
Cole said it
stocks.
best, Tom. Pride is the devil, bro. That's Patty P to a T.
Hey,
Love the
listen,
guy,
man.
but
Listen,
pride
man.
is the devil.
Hey, yeah, I'm sure he's doing a lot of stuff with investing, right? Like investing. He's really big on stuff like that. I'm not saying he's like a fucking bum. I'm saying he's probably really doing his thing. He's probably
Oh, he's
investing.
rich.
He's
Yeah,
rich.
he's
You know,
rich.
he's doing his fucking thing. It's Patty P, guys. He's a smart guy. You know, he's definitely not dumb. I'm just curious to know what he does. Like, I want to know his routine. When he wakes up in the morning, what does he do from start to finish? Because I would love to have him on the show. I reached out a couple months ago and I said, yo, come on the show. And he's like, I can't today, but I'm going to give you a rain check. Like, I'm down to come on. Just hit me up. So I got to get him on one of these
That's his
days.
signature.
Yeah, I think you do. You gotta get him on.
One of these days, I'm just going to bring him in at the end and just be like, yo, Patty P, what's going on? And just, you know, ask him what the hell he's been up to. Because, you know, he's a staple. He's a staple to the scene.
Somebody asked a really good question, Ben, and I feel like, I mean, me and you watched a lot of the bubble last year in the NBA bubble. They said, do you think the LAN should have fake noises for like the crowds? And I think that's a great idea because
fake noises like
Ooh,
on the
that'd be
broadcast.
interesting.
because you remember in the bubble in NBA where
They
like
were
someone
doing
would,
it, yeah.
they were doing it and it
Yeah.
sounded very realistic. And you know how COD gets like when
It
someone
was a
pops
little
a two-piece, it's
fugazi.
like raw,
It was
like,
a little
it's sick.
fugazi. See, I personally think it would just sound like it's easy to do it in like say like you're watching like a football game, aka soccer, right? You're watching like the crowd because there's so many people. It has that same sound. Like with COD, I don't know. It might be hard to do it. It might be hard, like it might sound so fake where it's just cringe.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah, right, you know what I'm saying? Like,
like
it-
it's dead
yeah.
quiet, and then someone gets a two-piece,
And
and
it's
then
like,
all of a sudden
yeah!
it's crowd for 2 seconds, and then it's dead silent.
because in sports games, like you hear the crowd at all times.
No, that's true.
at all
yeah.
times. Like it's
I
like.
feel like it's really hard, but if they do it though, like I feel like
Like they start getting like "Let's Go Optic" chants during the match and shit. Like you just hear it in the background. Like,
or Dashy gets a simple kill in the back, and it's like Bruce. It's like, oh my god, where does this come from?
That'll be a whole
Tom, what if
different-
they did it like how the NBA did with like courtside, where we just zoom in, me and you were just front row.
Yo, that'd be comedy.
From
That'd
our
be fucking Yo, like the fucking virtual fans, like the virtual.
that'd be lit.
Yeah. Bro, I remember. Bro, wasn't there like Lil Wayne or something like smoking a blunt on one of those things? I'm pretty sure he was
Oh,
like.
I think
probably.
I think so. Yeah.
What are they
That's
gonna do to
actually
Lil Wayne?
Yeah, they're not gonna. I mean, that's just fucking comedy. Like that's fucking hilarious. But I mean, hey man, I don't know if there's any more questions. Somebody said, how did you get through nameless trashing your name in Ghost? Hey, to be honest, I might have not, bro. If it wasn't for Chris, I would not be a professional player with the way pro players talked about me when I was on the come up, for sure. That's why I always give so much credit to Crowder, man, because you know people, you know, they do that. They try to tarnish your name. How did you deal with it? I was a fucking asshole. And yes, it might have hurt me a little bit back in the day, but I think being an asshole and having a chip on my shoulder kind of helped a little bit as well. I think
I'm gonna keep it a buck. This is gonna be you ready for a good hot take, Tom? I haven't had a good hot take in a while.
Yeah,
There we go.
I love a
think
good hot
if
take.
there is a Mount Rushmore of Call of Duty, Chris, aka Crowder, 1,000% needs to be on Mount Rushmore. I think he's one of the most underappreciated players, but not only from what he did from in-game standpoint, he literally changed the game.
Yeah, he did.
It's crazy because all three of us have stories about Chris taking an opportunity on all of us. Bro, when I transferred over from Halo, this is when Halo and COD had beef. You know, everyone was like, these fucking kids not about to come over here and fucking do shit. Chris, I was on FaZe. Long story short, I got dropped, but that's a different story. You know, stuff I see. But like Chris's eye for talent, when you just like, if you looked at Chris's, what would it be, Ben? Like coaching tree, essentially.
Yeah.
It's bar none. Like there's no one that is better when it comes to that. And I feel like people don't.
Yeah,
they don't
now
see
that I
because
think
Chris is
about
very
it,
modest. You know, he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not gonna go out and just kind of like speak truth to
Just
that.
say
Like
it.
he's
He's
very
gonna be like, "Well, I
DL
got
about it.
lucky."
A
But
great
like, dude, he's
example-
a savant. He is
No,
ace
yeah,
so
yeah.
far when it comes
He's-
to I
he's a
swear to
ba-
God.
Yeah, he
No,
is.
you're not
He is.
wrong.
You're not
Yeah,
wrong.
you're
Yeah,
not
I
wrong.
personally agree with you. A lot of
Yeah,
people
his-
are not, but I agree with you. I 100%
Wait, like you know
agree.
how they always talk about how Steph, Clay, and the Warriors changed the way basketball is played,
Yeah.
and like how the whole generation shifted.
Yep.
I think Crowder did that for Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean,
I think from my POV being outside of all this, I think the one thing that Chris did that no one else was doing, and this isn't a knock because I don't think this label applies to any of you guys here in this room, but I think like too often for a couple of years, all the veterans just kind of circled the wagon with the same group of people, and Chris is like never afraid to break out of his comfort zone and bring in a young gun that he knew fit the system well, and just say fuck it, like we're gonna get laughed at, but we're gonna get better as a team, and we're gonna smoke all these guys.
hey, bro, can I address this fucking Ray guy in the chat? This guy has been talking shit the whole fucking show. Luma. And then he says Luma always talks about how he's a great scout. First of all, Ray, go fuck yourself. You're a fucking asshole. You're a dumb bitch.
Go fuck yourself.
Hey, brother, don't you have something better else to do than to spread negativity the whole show? From start to finish, I'm reading everything in the chat. The whole show, nothing but negativity. And then to say, oh, Zoomaa always says he's a great scout, it's because I was a great scout. Every player that I picked up was absolutely phenomenal. Between Asim, between Mac, between Celium, between Priesta, between all these fucking guys, they all turned out like $1 million fucking dollars. So at the end of the fucking day, suck on my fucking balls, asshole, and go fuck yourself. The minute I see you say one more fucking thing, you're done. You're banned. All right? Fucking like prick, you fucking bitch. I'm sorry.
Have a good day, Ray.
I was so listen, I was so positive for the whole show though. You know,
I can't believe you noticed it, Tom.
Because I read the chat like crazy during the show. That's all I do. During the show, you see my eyes, I stare at the chat and I always read what people are saying. And this fucking guy was looking for attention the whole show and I didn't give it to him. But now it fucking pisses me off because he just keeps fucking saying stupid shit. It's like, dude, get a fucking grip and go get a fucking life, bro. Have some positivity in your life, man. What the fuck are you doing in the fucking Twitch chat talking shit all fucking day?
Misery loves company, Tom. Misery
Hey,
loves company.
fucking asshole. You know what I'm saying?
On that note, I think it's time.
All right, hit a fucking putt. Hit a fucking putt while
done.
I'm fired up. Hit this fucking thing.
Ben,
Come on, Ben. Can we get
grit,
someone
bro.
to the chat? Can we show this guy some fucking love? Come on, give him some fucking wedge. Show him some love. Let's see if he can sink the putt. Come on.
Guy clearly skips leg day.
Come on, Ben. Let's see what you could get. Let's see what you got.
some
No
absolute twigs.
socks on. No socks, slippers on, shorts in hand. He lines it up. He steps up to the green. He's eyeing the hole. Let's see if he could sink it. And ladies and gentlemen, he whips the fucking putt. He fucking overshoots it. He's all over the place.
Oh my god.
We talk about how he's golfing.
It wasn't even
Can't
close.
see shit.
Yeah, I
It wasn't
can't
even
see
close,
anything.
man. He
Golfing
sinks
in
it
the
again.
dark.
He's gonna hit it. Does he sink it? And he does. He sinks the second putt,
Okay.
but it's too late
Oh
because
my
he already missed the
God.
first one. Benny Boy, what happened today? Kind of what went wrong? What
It
were we
horseshoe,
showing?
bro. The putt straight up just horseshoe. I lost complete composure.
Ben, get some better lighting. You can't even see where you're aiming at.
The problem is I don't have. I need to put a light like in this corner. I can't put it over here because it's the hallway, and I have a TV over there, so it's tough.
You're looking like an absolute degenerate
Listen,
right
man,
now.
it's-
No, it's also because the lighting. I have to turn
The lighting's
brightness on
off. The
cam.
lighting's off, guys. The lighting's
No,
off.
I like the exposure of my cam. I have to change because I get a lot of like daylight in my room. Here, it's better if I right now.
Yo, you know, let me ask that question. You went
There you
so
go.
in depth with it, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I can't put the light here because I got the hallway here, and
Exposure.
the exposure's low, and
You're fucking
hey, just get a
comedy.
fucking light in your room, please.
You fucking.
I bought a key light too to make the lighting better, but you know I get a lot of. I don't need to have a lot of lights in here because I got all these big bay windows. I got good daylighting, and then at night sometimes it gets a little bit dark. Like it is what it is.
What are you
Nice
gonna do,
flex.
Ben?
Nice
What are you gonna
flex.
do? You know, at the end of the day, I think we had an incredible show today. I appreciate
Good
every
show.
single one of you guys for tuning in. Obviously, we have a lot of incredible matches tomorrow, so I'm really excited to kick off with another episode after the matches. So make sure to tune in. We'll be live as soon as they're over. Maybe we'll even do a watch party. So just for those of you who don't get the notification, I could already be live. So make sure to tune in right after the matches. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to go to anchor.fm/theflank. Make sure to go follow @theflank on Twitter. Shout out to Asim. Shout out to Enable. Shout out to who else was on today? Attach. All kinds of people were on. Shout out to everybody for coming on. And I appreciate all the
you,
love
Tom.
and support. Yep, appreciate you coming on. You're a fucking legend. Make sure to go check out Enable's Twitch. He's always fucking streaming, guys. Twitch.tv/Enable. Go show him some fucking love. We're going to probably play some games right now. And just thank you guys for another amazing show. Thank you for all the positivity, all the energy in the chat. It always keeps me going. And it just keeps the show going. So I appreciate you guys. And we'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a good day.
Have a good day.